Hello and welcome along to the final day of the English Premier League. I'm Nigel Seeley and welcome along to my panel here on what is going to be a very exciting final day of the Premier League season. It's the Betcast. We'll keep you across all the action on the final day. The in-play action with Bet Rivers. When the goals go in, the guys will be telling you all the latest odds. We're going to run through the team news. We're going to run through everything for you so we have you covered here on what promises to be a brilliant day of soccer action. Let's introduce the panel. Senior soccer handicapper for because we were in. Steve Wyss is with us. I was speaking to Sean Calvert 30 seconds ago, and that's why I said ATB. So he's with us here. Steve will be across social media looking at all the questions that you have coming in for us. He'll be giving oversight of the match betting and who he thinks will win today and prevail through. Neil Channing joins us, professional gambler. Neil Channing, there he is there. He is not former England and Arsenal international Ray Parlour, but he's Neil Channing, a professional gambler. You see him on the shows, on the reaction show most weeks with Steve. And also, finally, my colleague on the Premier League show is Jack Wright. Jack, we're looking across all the team news that's coming in now ahead of the kickoffs, which are only 30 minutes away. Head across to the Bet Rivers website now. You'll see all the markets, over 400 markets on some of these matches, on a huge array on what is probably one of the biggest bet soccer days of the calendar year. This is the 10th time the Premier League has gone down to the final day. Who is going to win the Premier League? Manchester City are obviously in the box seat. Arsenal need to win and hope that City slip up. And let's look at that match. Before we go on to the match, we've got a competition for you today. So get your entries in before you start. We've got 25 minutes before kickoff. We want your entries in. How many goals will be scored today in the Premier League across all the 10 matches? The lowest in the last 20 years, in 2008, 2009, has been 23. And the highest was in 2021, 2022, and there was 39. This has been a season of goals galore, which has not been good for myself. But how many goals will be scored today? Get your answers in now. 23 is the lowest, 39 is the highest, and whoever wins will receive one of these delightful Betting Weekly Studio T-shirts. What have we got? We're on the Steve Wyss. Don't be a moron. Put more on, whatever you want. We've got them all here, and we'll be posting them out to whoever successfully gets the number of goals. Okay, let's move straight along. Man City v West Ham is the big man. It's the match that's going to be followed by Steve Wyss. Manchester City are minus 14.30 on the money line with Bet Rivers. West Ham are 25-1 to win this match, and the tie is 13-1. Before we go through the selections from the boys, Jax, what's the team news coming out of the Etihad?
Yeah, it's Doku's in for Kovacic is the outfield change for Man City. Of course, Ederson picked up a concussion in midweek, so he's been replaced by Ortega. Other than that, it all looks the same. I think big news there is that Kevin De Bruyne is fit, so that's a big one for City fans. And the massive news, of course, for West Ham, Jared Bowen is out ill, and Aaron Cresswell comes in for him. Ogbonna drops to the bench, and a return of former Arsenal player Konstantinos Mavropanos.
Let's hope he doesn't score. We need Harry Symeou here to pronounce him rather than me. Steve, the overview on this match here. Man City obviously need to win the Premier League title, need to match the result of the Etihad. The subplot here is David Moyes obviously was a manager. He was the manager for Arteta. He's obviously manager of Declan Rice. He's got some Arsenal connection here. Can the unthinkable happen?
Not for me, Nigel. Good day to you and Neil and Jack. And thanks for all the... we're getting loads of comments coming through about the predictions here for the goals, so keep them coming on YouTube and maybe on Twitter as well. I don't know if we can accept that, Nigel, or whatever, but we'll get a winner on that. I think this game, Man City will win the game for me. But, I mean, the goal line is unbelievably high at 4.5. It's shockingly high. I think Man City win this to 0. What about both teams score no at minus 117 with Bet Rivers? I mean, I think that could have every chance today. West Ham, I think they're just going to go through the motions. So for me, I don't really see this. Everyone's mentioning about the Villa game a couple of years ago when it was 3-2 and City had to come back. Everyone was forgetting that Steven Gerrard was in charge of Villa that day. That was he actually, Liverpool connections, he meant something. I don't think Moyes has got the Arsenal connections in that sort of way to give him a lift. But Man City just ultimately far better, in my opinion. 3-0, I'm going to say. Man City will.
We're going to come on to the correct scores at the end of the game. We give the wrap up of the most match. Channers, the betting markets here very heavily. 14.30 favours Man City, 25 on West Ham 30. The money line is really not interesting. The handicap is 3 start for West Ham, and the total, as Steve said, they're 4.5. Any movements on the betting as the team news has come out?
I haven't seen much movement on it, but I have to say I do quite like West Ham +3. I think that's a fair value bet, and I'm going to make that one of my stronger bets of the day. So I have got involved there. Obviously these are big games. People tend to start tentatively, and I've played the under. I think 4.5 it just seems a bit crazy to me, really. Having said that, if you really asked me for a score prediction, I guess there will be some goals in the game, obviously. 3-1 City.
Okay, we're going to come on to the score predictions in a minute.
Sorry,
But,
you said that already. I jumped the gun.
Don't worry. Listen, it's only the first.
I was excited.
Hopefully, you get it by the 8th match we get to. If not, there'll be a half-time substitution, and we'll get Simon holding on. Anyway, Man City against West Ham I've got under 4 goals in the Asian line. That's my bet here. It's an official pick for me on the Premier League show. I know Channers is very keen on the 3, as he said there, but with 4 goals a push, I think it's a nice bet. Don't expect Man City to get beat here, but I don't see any reason why they win 5 or 6-0. So this is the time you need to speak, Channers. Now, this is the time. These are the corrections. Steve, what are we going to go? What's your prediction in this match here, Man City v West Ham?
3-0 win for Manchester City.
Channers?
Well, I've slightly shocked the business, haven't I? 3-1, I'm going to say, to Man City.
And Jack?
3-0, Man City.
Well, I'm going to go for 2-0 Man City. So are we all agreeing Man City are going to beat West Ham? Man City will be crowned Premier League champions. If you want to bet,
are we all under, though? Are we all under?
We're all under. Yeah, we're all under. We're all under the 4.5.
I think I'm going under. I'm happy to bet some chalk and take the odds on and have the 4.5. So that I can still win when it's 3-1.
Exactly. Minus 134 is the price for under 4.5 currently with Bet Rivers. If you want to be a little bit braver and play the 3.5, it's plus 165. But I think that
Great
4
point.
plus 120 now. 4 goals with a push. I think it was minus 103 when I put it up. Plus 120 now. The market has gone absolutely crazy. But anyway, let's move on. We're over to the Emirates, where the Arsenal faithful will be hoping that there is some kind of miracle. They're hosting Everton at the Etihad. At the Emirates. This match will be watched by you, Channers. So you'll be giving us the insight into the Arsenal v Everton.
We're all over it, Nigel.
And what's happening on the markets? Any moves on the markets?
Well, actually, I mean, if anything, Arsenal was just ever so slightly on the drift. The price with Bet Rivers is where are we? So I've got too many screens open at the moment. It's ridiculous.
Minus 530 on the money line.
Yes, which, I mean, obviously most people when they get to those kind of prices, most people use that for a parlay or they start to look at the handicaps. So handicap wise, it's where are we? Let me get the Asians in front of me. We're looking at we're looking at 2 basically, aren't we? 2 is the handicap. Arsenal minus 2. I mean, Arsenal just slightly on the drift. It's probably, I mean, I would say of the 2 games, if you wanted to sort of think about which one's going to start more tentatively, I think Arsenal Everton will start more tentatively. But it does look slightly like the market is a little bit lukewarm on Arsenal, really.
Yeah, and no surprise really, Jack, because the team news has come out and it's not good for Arsenal, is it?
No, huge news. Arguably their best player, Bukayo Saka, out injured. Slight muscle injury apparently for him. So Gabriel Martinelli comes in for him. Likely there to see Trossard will go over to the right-hand side. Martinelli out on the left-hand side. Other than that, one other interesting note, I suppose, Arsenal is Jurriën Timber is in. He's on the bench, first time since recovering from his ACL injury. Everton, typical Sean Dyche, unchanged.
And these are some of the best defences in the Premier League. Arsenal have the best defence. Everton are the 4th best defence despite their relegation problems all season. Steve, what's your thoughts on this match here, Arsenal-Everton?
I got completely caught out by the Bukayo Saka team news. I actually took a hit in fantasy to add him at 2 p.m. So
you were in contention. You were in contention because we win fantasy team. You could have blown it.
There was a leak that Saka was in about 2 p.m. before then. So I got completely caught out. It's a similar one to Man City. I think Arsenal win to 0 could be worth a go here at minus 118. I think this is yesterday, every single match in Bundesliga went over 2.5. I think there'll be a lot of goals today in the Premier League. I think this could even go under 2.5 because there's some really good defences here. Well,
funny you should say that because the score predictions from the guys, Steve has gone there for what price? What have you gone there? You've gone for under 2.5. You've told me 3 at 0 on the selection.
Is that what I put earlier?
Yes, you put 3-0 and now you're tipping up under 2.5. What's going on?
I'm going to change that. 2-0.
Team news.
Team news is out. So what?
Yeah, the team news.
Where's he going with this? He's putting everyone away, saying under 2.5, and he's giving me 3.5. Well, do you know what? Do you know what? What are you going for, Jack?
2-0.
Channers.
I went for 2-0, but I'll tell you what I think is the best bet. I like it to be a tie at half time. Bet Rivers plus 215. I just think Arsenal will start a bit tentatively. If they were to concede in the early part of the game, well, then it's ruined their day, hasn't it? I can see them starting quite tentatively here. I like the under. I think 2-0 is fine.
I've gone for 2-0 as well. So it's a clean sweep on the 2-0. Under 2.5 goals. Under 2.5 goals is plus 190, and a 2-0 win for Arsenal is 6-1. So if you want to take the panel's advice, all of us are going for 2-0. And that is a nice price there. Let's move on to another match in the capital, Chelsea against Bournemouth. This is where Steve's best bet of the day comes from. What's your best bet, Steve?
Chelsea on the Asian handicap, minus 1.25. Now, it was minus 114 earlier. I don't know if that's actually changed now. But, I just think they're finishing the season really strongly. A lot of people saw this kind of coming, and I know you guys are quite hot on them next season to do really well. They've got a lot of momentum, and if they win the game, they could still technically finish 5th. So I think, it's unlikely because Spurs are going to Sheffield United, but they're hungry, they're motivated. I just think they're the better team than Bournemouth. There was a stat today I saw. I think Bournemouth have picked up 2 points against teams in the current top 6 at the time they played them this year. So I think against the really big clubs, Bournemouth have struggled this season. So Chelsea, I think, will on minus 1.25 Asian handicap would be my best bet of the day.
It was minus 127 when I put the notes down about an hour ago. It's now minus 134. So the money is coming for Chelsea on the money line here. Channas, any movements? Chelsea are minus 250, Bournemouth for 550, and the tie plus 480. What have you seen on the line movements with Bet Rivers?
Very stagnant game. This. Personally, I think this is an over game. I don't know. I seem to remember in the dim and distant past, Mr. Seeley, days like today, you would be trying to dig out a 3-3 draw.
It's coming, Channers. It's coming. Don't think too early. We've got 2.5 hours of this, mate. It's coming.
There might be a couple. There might be a couple of possibles, but this looks like a very possible 3-3 draw to me. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think you got a chance. I don't think Bournemouth will score goals. One thing I would say, though, is when we come
on to the over here.
Well, everybody's gone on. Jack will give us the team list, but everyone's gone on the overs in this match. Everyone went on the unders in the Arsenal-Everton, and the lines are very, very similar. So if someone said to me now, which one's going to produce more goals, you'd go Stamford Bridge all day long rather than the Etihad. Jack, what's the team news?
Yeah, Thiago Silva, you mentioned him earlier. He's in the starting 11 for Chelsea before he returns back to Brazil to play for Fluminense. Raheem Sterling's in for Malo Gusto, the right back. No Mudryk because he was injured against Brighton. Concussion kind of injury, I believe, wasn't it? Big news, though, for Bournemouth is Dominic Solanke been dropped to the bench. So rested. And Iriola's made 5 changes in total for that. So goalkeeper change as well. But Solanke is the main news there that he will not be starting. So that's a blow for his hopes on trying to impress for the Euros.
That's a blow for 3-3. It's also a blow for both teams to score. Bournemouth out their star striker. Plus 650, incidentally, Thiago Silva to be score at any time. I love that play. I think he'll come up for a corner. There's a penalty late on. I think Thiago Silva might take it. So if you look at Channers, you want to have a little bit on that. Have a little pizza money on that. What's our score predictions, Jack? What are we going for?
I've gone for Chelsea 3, Bournemouth 0.
Have you? I've got 4-1 down here again. What have I?
Oh, no, Anne.
What's going on here? What is going on?
I was reading your pick.
We've got 4-1 from Jack, Chelsea v Bournemouth. Steve, what have we gone?
I've gone 3-1 because I just can't trust the Chelsea defence to keep a clean sheet.
Channers, you've gone for a?
I went 3-2, but I wouldn't. I'm marginally tempted by some pizza money on 3-3.
I'm delighted with the 3-0 now. My prediction with Chelsea with the news that Solanke doesn't play. I was worried about Bournemouth scoring, but without their main man, I'm happy for Chelsea here, and I've gone for Chelsea to win 3-0. The next match is the bottom club, the team that relegated, one of the worst teams in the Premier League this season, Sheffield United. Well, they are the worst team in the Premier League this season, probably the worst teams ever in the Premier League. They're hosting Tottenham, who need 1 point to be sure of a 5th spot. And it's no surprise to see Tottenham a very, very heavy favourite on the road at Sheffield United, a team that conceded over 100 goals this season. Sheffield United are plus 650, Tottenham are minus 286, and the tie is 5. The over and under here is 3.5 with over minus 150. Jack, what's the team news?
Yeah, Sheffield United have made 3 changes from their last game. Ahmed Hodzic comes in, returning from suspension at the back to try and shore up that defence. It's not worked all season, but there we go. Lowe and Osborne come in as well. For Spurs, an attacking change. They brought back Kulusevski, who didn't play against Man City, or didn't start against Man City. Kjoberg drops to the bench there. Mickey van der Ven's an interesting one. He continues at left back, so we might see him advanced. So if you want to look for someone outside in the goal scorer markets against the worst defence in Premier League history, maybe a little bit on Van der Ven.
Van der Ven, I'll get the price for him to score anytime. Channing, I can't see this being really, really sort of catching the bettors' imagination with the betting on this one.
On betting exchanges, it's a very, very low liquidity game. The price is pretty much just kind of stamped on the screen, not moving at all. Tottenham minus 286 with Bet Rivers. But that really hasn't moved in 2 days.
No, Steve, I mean, obviously for Ange Postecoglou, he's very critical of the Tottenham fans. He will probably demand the performance. He's an Aussie. He doesn't like to lose. He wants to get that 5th spot. And do you reckon that Tottenham might have a bit of a reaction from that defeat against Man City?
Yeah, definitely think that. That's why I think they'll win well. But let's remember, they only need 1 point to get the position they need. Also, I can't trust their defence this season. It's not hardly any clean sheets. I wonder if someone like Brereton Diaz to score plus 265 could be worth a look here. He's on penalties, I think, for Sheffield United as well. So, but they are so bad, aren't they? It would be difficult to stomach anything on Sheffield United today.
Very, very. Mickey van der Ven is 10-1, Jack, to score anytime, 25-1 to score the first goal. And a game that promises goals. And if you look at the predictions here, all the boys have gone for some really, really high scores. It's quite funny because doing the totals here, I'm like the lowest of the goals total, which is not a shock at all.
All right.
What's really going to go for, Steve? What's the scoreline going to be at the Bramwell Lane?
I've gone with the Spurs win 5-1.
5-1?
Tight and cagey.
What's he doing? Channers, what have you gone for it?
I went for 3-1, but actually, I think if you forced me to have a bet, I might take Sheffield United on the handicap plus 1.75. But I did go for 3-1 when you asked me this morning.
Yeah, I've gone for 2-1 Tottenham. I just think that they only need a point. And Jack, you've gone for another wild score as well.
Yeah. Sheffield United 2, Spurs 4.
Oh, so there's the goals. Lots and lots of goals there. The guys are predicting 6 goals. I've gone for 3. Channers has gone for 4. And another match where we expect goals. Another match where we're all expecting goals, and everyone here has gone for both teams to score, but not so many in this one here. Some different panelists. Brighton against Manchester United. This one at Channers, I watched the moves in here. There was a move earlier for Brighton. It's obviously De Zerbi's last match in charge. What kind of reaction? I don't know what's happened behind the scenes. There's obviously been a falling out of him and Tony Bloom there. Manchester United.
Sorry, go on.
No, Manchester United have got some support as they're coming into this match. Sorry, you asked you the question about the De Zerbi situation.
Yeah, the manager. I mean, I went to see Brighton the other week. I'm in Brighton right now, and I was out in the town about an hour ago. There's loads of people around. It's a real party atmosphere. Everyone's kind of real end of season. They're going to.
There's a lot of Man United fans in Brighton, isn't there? The local team are in town. Man United are in town. They're all
it's
out.
Actually quite funny because on match day, if you go to the train station normally on a Saturday, there's loads of people heading into London to watch Arsenal in their Arsenal shirts. They all live in Brighton, but I think people are still kind of they have a positive feeling about the club. But I went to see them the other week against Man City when they got thrashed, and it felt like he'd lost the dressing room then, the manager, really. And a lot of the crowd seemed a bit fed up with him. I think it was pretty inevitable that he went, really, and they just left it till the end of the season. But I think he's more or less been gone for 4 games, really.
Do you think that he's probably got his head turned by the fact that Bayern Munich were coming in for him, talking of him going to Liverpool, and thought that he's got ideas above his station? And Tony Bloom said, "All right, mate, if you think
I agree. I think Tony Bloom, the Lizard. One thing that he always does is he builds organisations whereby he's not dependent on one person. He doesn't want to be held to ransom by somebody. So if the manager comes and says, "Like, I can get more money to go here," he's like, "Fine, off you go. I'll just get somebody else." Brighton have drifted, though. They drifted all week on the back of, I guess, the feeling that there's nothing much to play for. They were much closer to an even money favourite at the start of this week, and they're much closer to kind of 9 to 5 now, 8 to 5, 9 to 5. So, what's the price with Bet Rivers?
Something that none of us have ever done in our life, 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, not for a few years anyway. The kind of prices that are all alien to me. 9 to 5, what's all that about?
Exactly.
Jack, team news. Man United, we never know their team from week to week. We've got the FA Cup final next week. Is that played into Ten Hag, which could be his last match in charge at Manchester United?
Could be, couldn't it? Yeah, lots of last managers
in the Premier League. I mean, he's got the FA Cup final.
Yeah, only one change actually. Lissandro Martinez comes in, and Johnny Evans drops to the bench, so we get the delight of watching Casemiro as centre back again. So that'll be fun. 6 changes for Brighton though, so De Zerbi's swept the board there. Goalkeeper change, Steele in for Verbruggen. Lallana, his last appearance for the club, he's in as well. Danny Welbeck comes in. He's just signed a new contract, so obviously he knew De Zerbi was going, so he fancied getting on board. Moda, Baleba and Barco, who impressed actually, left back when he came on against Chelsea in midweek. So I'm interested to see him in a full 90. But 6 changes in total for Brighton. Yeah,
I like those players who are leaving. And in the game we predict goals, Lallana could be another player who's had a great career for any time goal score. So look for those players who are leaving it in the season. Steve,
just picking up quickly, that rotating keeper thing, that's a real Brighton thing, isn't it? They swap the keeper back and forward virtually every week.
Yeah.
Steve, De Zerbi's moving on. Where do you think he'll be going? What's your thoughts on this match?
I think he could end up with quite a big club because he's got a decent reputation. I think his style can work. He could work at somewhere like Barcelona, for example. I think Brighton are a big price here.
It's early for that.
I think. Well, how are Brighton the dog?
Taking Brighton to 8th and the 10th in the Premier League, and next minute Barcelona.
His reputation is really high in the game.
In his own household, in the Zerbi household.
His next job will be at a big club.
I wouldn't have him at QPR. Martin Fuentes all the way. Marty's army.
Yeah, you got Marty Cifuentes.
Norwich are looking for a manager. Jack, would you say
they are?
De Zerbi could be there.
No, it's interesting though that Brighton are linked with Ipswich's manager Kieran McKenna. So that'd be a shame.
That looks a good fit. Tony Bloom and McKenna, be a nice fit. Let's give us some predictions. We're going to go for Steve.
3-1. I quite like Brighton here.
3-1 Brighton. All the rest of us have gone for draws, but different draws. Neil, what draw are you going for?
I've gone for a draw, slightly boring draw, 1-1. Nothing quite as exciting as I feel like might be coming up.
Jack?
Desmond for me, 2-2.
And this is it, challenge. The first 3-3 of the day. Hey, it took 23 minutes, 5 seconds to get the first 3-3. Come on.
I mean, to be honest, I bet the under 23 minutes. I can't believe it's taken this long.
Well, the draw here is plus 310 on the money line. So 3 of the panel gone for the draw here. Brighton are plus 165. Man United are plus 140. We are 7 minutes away from kickoff.
Is 18 to 1 the draw? I mean, that's not a huge price, is it, for a 3-3?
It's plus 310 the draw. 3-3 was 25s.
But I mean, back in the day, Nigel, we were getting 50 to 1 about these 3-3s.
Yeah, I know. I never got one in then.
What did we do with all that money we won?
It definitely wasn't on fashion in your sense, and not in haircuts on my. There's
hair
products on my
haircuts.
But you never got the memo for the top channels. I must admit that's the one thing we do. But, let's move on. We've got a few matches to go. We've only got 7 minutes to go. Brentford against Newcastle. Newcastle need something from here to secure European football. Brentford are a team that have had an indifferent season, and Ivan Toney, probably his last match for Brentford. Well, I think it will be his last match for Brentford. Channers, I can't see much movement in this match. Earlier in the week, Newcastle were on the drift, but they seem to be sort of steady now in the market.
Sorry, I didn't think you were going to come to me then. I didn't have
okay, we'll come back. Jack,
give me 20 seconds.
Jack, just get Jack, give it the team news.
Yeah, the main team news is there's no Anthony Gordon for Newcastle, so that might see a little bit of money coming for Brentford. He's been one of their best players recently. Nick Pope back in goal. One of my favourite bands. We talked about him during the season. Nick Pope in the back four, so that'll be reunited.
All the prayers were answered. Nick Pope got back in the team. Yep.
Very good. That won't be the worst joke of the day, I'm sure. 4 changes for Brentford. Neil Maupay drops to the bench as the main one, I suppose, there.
Steve, this one here, Newcastle do need the win to secure that 7th spot. Obviously, Manchester United win it, they can overtake them. Then they'll be hoping that Manchester United win the FA Cup. So it's a must-win match for Newcastle. This,
I think they'll win, but they have a really bad record in London down the years, so they're not a team I would ever like to trust too much. But Brentford, I just think they want to get the end of this season now. So I believe that I would certainly lean towards Newcastle.
Newcastle have a worse record in London than Jack Wright on a Friday night in Ritzy's in Peckham. Channers, what's the movement here on the money line on the team?
Very quiet betting game. This one plus 190 Brentford, plus 280 the tie, plus 128 Newcastle with Bet Rivers. Really not a game where there's been huge fluctuation in the prices. Very and definitely on betting exchanges a very low liquidity game. Although, it could be quite an exciting game. The over-under is trading roughly 50-50 around on the 3.5 line. So could be a goalie game.
Yeah, just remember the teams are coming to the pitch now at the Etihad. The matches are coming in. Head across to the Bet Rivers website for all the last-minute odds there. There's also parlay boosts as well. And you also have hit the crossbar. If one of your parlays gets unlucky, you've got some refunds there as well dependent on your loyalty bonus. Just one last thing before we go. Correct score predictions here on this match here, Brentford-Newcastle. We're going to do Steve.
I'm a Desmond.
Steve.
2-2. 3-1.
3-1 for Steve. Jack?
Yeah, same here. 3-1 Newcastle.
I've gone for 3-1 Newcastle as well. So 2 in the 3-1 camp as well. And
we all like the 4 goals. We should all be on the over.
14-1 you can get for 3-1 Newcastle. Over 3.5 goals is -120. So every single person on the panel has gone for over 3.5 goals. If you just joined the show, we are running a competition. So your last chance to get in your prediction. How many goals will be scored this afternoon in the Premier League on the final day? 23 goals is the lowest on the final day in 2008-2009. 39 is the highest. We've got lots of entries coming in, Steve.
There was quite a lot in the first sort of 10 minutes. Let's get some more in now. 3 more minutes.
Get some more in there.
Put it in the comments.
For me. I'm on 37, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going to, Channers, we'll just quickly go on to the final game, and then what we'd have to do is a prediction.
I want to make sure I could win. I don't want you saying I said it after time.
No, you've got 30. I've got your record here. You sent it this morning. I've got the record here. Okay, let's move on to Liverpool Wolves. Liverpool Wolves is our prediction here. The players are taking to the pitch now. Anfield. It's going to be a very emotional afternoon for Jurgen Klopp in his final match in charge at Anfield for Liverpool. The German is obviously leaving after this match here. Liverpool are a huge favourite, -770. Wolves are 17-1 to win this, and the tie is 9-1. I'm drawn to that tie price. I don't think that this will go to the script. They should do, but at -770, I wouldn't be betting them. Steve, I'm going to start with you here because I had to check the email today to see this is actually what your score prediction was. What do you reckon here?
Right, so my actual score prediction is 6-2.
6-2.
I think this is going to be an exhibition.
You've been on the funny facts this week.
Every year there's one crazy game, right, that goes stupid over. And I mean, actually, the goal line is ridiculous. Over 4.5 is odds on. It's like an MLS All-Stars game they have over there in the States in the middle of the summer. But I think it could be an exhibition. Goals everywhere. Put on a big show for Jurgen Klopp. Final match.
I love it. I love this idea.
6-2. Jack, you've gone for a similar kind of score.
Yeah, not far out. 5-1 me.
And what's the team news?
Not much there. Robertson's in for Gomez, so only one change in Jurgen Klopp's last game. The main news, I guess, the Wolves is Pedro Neto's back from his injury, but he's only on the bench, so expect to see him later on to get a couple of those goals for Steve.
Yeah, and you've gone for a 5-1 win.
5-1 yeah.
Channers, you've gone for 3-1 here, and I've actually gone for 2-2.
3-1.
Yeah,
I've gone 2, man.
We're just cut off here quickly because I want to just mention 2 bets. Channers, because there's only a minute or so to kick off. Luton v Fulham. You've got to bet Luton Fulham. What do you like, Luton Fulham?
I really like the over there. I bet a lot of overs today, but that is my best over of the day.
Yeah, in fact, 3.25 is currently -117 with Bet Rivers.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
And Jack, just quick, because we probably haven't got time to go through the match. Your big bet is Crystal Palace today, and the line movement for them is the biggest line movement of the week. -114 on the show. Currently, just before the kickoff was -162. Team news are good for you on the Palace match. Have Villa gone strong? Have they resting players now that Champions League is secured?
Yeah, 4 changes for Villa. Olsen's in for Martinez, so a goalkeeping change. Longley, and Chambers and Duran, he's in after scoring his double on Monday night. Torres, Tillmans and Bailey dropped to the bench. Gihai's back for Palace as well, back in and as captain, replacing Will Hughes. That's the only change. So key there, Eze, Elise and Mateta, the Holy Trinity all play.
Yeah, Duran are in the team, and obviously the goalkeeper's got some good reflex. Steve, what have we got for your match? Anything you like on this one?
Palace, I think Palace. I'd be looking at like Elise to score.
Okay, Elise to score.
I like him, yeah.
Now the teams are going to take we probably won't have time to go through the final matches, so we're just going to run through some cool predictions. Luton against Fulham. We've done the Liverpool Wolves game. Luton, Fulham. Jack, what score are we going to go for?
3-2.
3-2. Steve.
Desmond. 2-2.
Channers.
Desmond again.
And it's taken 30 minutes, 43 seconds to get the second. 3-3. 3-3.
Wow.
Hey. Goals galore, Luton v Forest. Palace v Aston Villa. Jack, this is your bet of the day. I've also on Palace -1. It was plus 145. What have you gone for there?
3-1 to Palace.
I've gone for 3-1 to Palace as well. Jack, Steve?
I think I've gone 3-1 Palace as well.
You've gone for 3-1 Palace. And Neil, you've gone for?
3-2.
3-2 to Palace. So Palace is a popular selection, and they've been very, very popular in the betting. A huge move on Palace. And finally, we've left the best to last. What a belter this is. Burnley against Forest. I was actually going to put a 0-0 in here, but I realised that 0-0 has only come in 5 times in the last 20 years, which equates to a 40-1 shot. So I thought I'm not going to put the 0-0 in Burnley v Forest. Jack, what have we gone for Burnley Forest?
I've gone for 2-1.
2-1. Steve?
I went 2-0 Burnley for this one.
Neil?
2-1 Forest.
I've gone for 1-0 Forest. So there's 2 for Forest, 2 for... That's probably
Forest are 1-0 up after 1 minute.
Well, hey, there we go. Hey, stop the game. Stop the game. End of.
My correct score gone already.
Okay, now, Steve, the competition has ended. So no more entries now for the competition. Right. If you've got the goals in... I said that that's that. Now, no more entries for the competition. Just to let you know, the totals of the goals. Neil has gone for 37 goals this afternoon in his total.
Wow.
I have gone for 35.
Oh.
Steve has gone for 41. And Jack has gone for 42 on his predictions. Now, the highest ever on the final day of the season is 39. So 42 and 41 for Jack and Steve will be the highest ever on a final day of the season. And me and Neil have gone for 37 and 35. We look cheap at 35, but it's 3.5 goals a game. Okay, so let's move straight away. There's been a goal, Burnley against Forest. The goal scorer is Chris Wood after 2 minutes. The line now has moved to plus 440 Burnley, minus 195 with Bet Rivers on Nottingham Forest. And the tie is plus 350. The goal line is 4.5. What do you think about that, Chan? As you look at these final day of the seasons, what strategy you come in? This match has no relevance to anybody. It's been another goal, but we'll come on to that in a minute. What do you think about that Forest movement there?
I mean, I tend to think in terms of the goal line that often, obviously, if there's a goal in a game, it opens up the scoring in that game. But I think in this match, which is a nothing game and where we all sort of lean towards a slight under, I wouldn't be kind of feeling to myself, this has changed the whole nature of the game, this early goal. I would just think, well, this might be more of an opportunity where you want to buck the market and bet the under. 4.5. The under is a bit of a favourite, isn't it? It's kind of a 138 or something favourite, the under.
Yeah, it's actually minus 182 now of 4.5. 3.5 is plus 135, plus 138. Now, their second goal of the day is at Brentford, where Brentford have taken the lead in a very I'm not quite sure what's happening. It's 1-0, but the market is still closed. So that suggests to me that they may be checking it for VAR. But the goal scorer is Ivan Toney, and we've mentioned today on the
goal! What a goal! This is from Foden immediately after 2 minutes. Manchester City. This is an unbelievable strike from generational talent here. Curls it into the top left corner of the net. Unbelievable start for Man City. They've scored after 80 seconds.
I don't know. That's finished. Right, that's been the Bet Rivers in Play Premier League show. It's been a great Man City of the Premier League champions. It's absolutely destroyed now. West Ham will be off. They're going to try to game over. Just to let you know that the Brentford-Newcastle game has been disallowed, Ivan Toney. But Phil Foden has scored for Manchester City, and that has now really changed. The Premier League betting is over. Man City are obviously, and now the market is currently closing there. But what price are Man City going to open up? They're going to be 66 to 1 on, but I'm very worried about the 4 goals. I'm very worried about the 4.5. It's what we didn't want for the unders betters. Man City to score early, but Phil Foden has scored the goal after 2 minutes. So after 2 minutes, Man City are currently 1-0 up. Brentford are 1-0 up as well. Channis, you're watching Arsenal playing, or are you watching Arsenal? Are you watching the 2:45?
No, I've been flicking between the odds on every match. There's too much to watch, isn't there?
I just wonder
Keep up with all of it.
I thought you had a horse running at Market Raisin or something.
Well, I've got that to think about as well. I mean, blimey, it's unbelievable.
What's happening in Arsenal? The news have obviously just got there that Man City is. See, this is a really important factor in the in-play bet on the final day of the season. The news, everyone would have been optimistic at Arsenal, thinking.
Well, obviously, it's got to be a gutter, hasn't it? If you're there, you're absolute sickener, really. Not much has happened really. Arsenal got a corner after 5 minutes. That's about the only exciting thing that's happened, really.
Now, Jack, if you look at the betting here, Arsenal are now minus 480. They were minus 590 at kickoff. Everton are now 9 to 1. The tie is plus 650, and that under 2.5 goals. What do you think? We're all under 3.5 goals is now minus 143. We're all on the unders here. We're all on Arsenal, but I remember chatting to you on the Premier League show a couple of weeks back, or when Dan Roebuck asked if we thought that Arsenal and Man City would go and win every single game, and I remember saying that the only thought I thought would be is if Man City on the final day of the season went 2 or 3-0 up, and Arsenal knew they couldn't win it, and they dropped and their heads and got beat. When would the time would be looking at 9 to 1 Everton and thinking, you know what, or the tie here or the draw here at plus 650? I love that Channers bet though, the draw at half time. I think that's a great price.
Well, I actually bet the 0-0 at half time at 4 to 1. I thought that was the play.
It's plus 210 now, the tie. So what do you think about this, Jack?
Yeah, I think with that goal, I think it certainly lends itself towards what we're talking about there. I think the tie does become a big runner. We can obviously get on double chance at those prices as well. I haven't got what's the price on double chance. You have tie and an Everton win. That's a bit of a goer. Bournemouth nearly scored then against Chelsea, but So I think that, and like I said, the unders. I think purely because of the news going to filter through, and therefore it's going to have an impact, like we kind of predicted. If that is the case, it will kind of just subdue the atmosphere. Obviously, and in fact, there's no Saka there as well. It makes it even a livelier play. Yeah,
I'm after that goal at the Etihad. I think the mood at the Emirates is going to be on the floor, Steve, here. And the Asian handicap, as we speak now, you can bet Everton +2 at minus 122.
Yeah, because that's what now already the atmosphere is going to be pretty flat there. You think Manchester City, by the way, West Ham have hardly had the ball at any stage. Possession count.
This is not news we want to hear if we're on the under 4.
I think Man City, the mood they're in here, I think they want to get this job done straight away, and then they can relax in the second half. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get a second goal within the next 20 minutes, really. But in terms of the Arsenal game, I agree with you. I think now. I mean, we all liked it to be pretty low scoring anyway, and that might, that goal at the Etihad may well add more weight to it.
Yeah, I'm looking at these markets here now, and the early movement here is Everton are now plus 850, Arsenal minus 435. That's quite a big move, Channers, isn't it? From minus 590 to minus 435 in 7 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, they had a chance, but nothing really has happened in the game. It's got to be just to do with that goal, isn't it, at the Etihad, that has really just changed things. It's certainly not to do with anything really on the play here or the elapsed time. It's only been 7 minutes gone. I mean, it's too big a move for 7 minutes gone if both matches were still 0-0.
I have a feeling as the day goes on with Channers watching Arsenal v Everton, we could be in for a Chris Kamara moment at any stage. There's been 2 goals at Channing. Sorry, I'm just watching the IPL. I didn't see that. I feel as though we could have
I'll tell you what, the IPL yesterday. Don't let me start.
Let's go around the grounds and look at the betting markets. Steve, you're watching Chelsea against Bournemouth. Chelsea minus 275. Bournemouth are $6. The tie is 410. The totals are 3.5. What's your early impressions here?
Well, I'm on Chelsea.
Sorry, Jack. Sorry, my friend.
Chelsea started really well, actually. They've had a couple of good chances. They've Sterling.
I've got to stop you there, Jack. Good news for you to stop you. Crystal Palace have gone 1-0 up at home to Aston Villa. Jack's bet of the week. I'm on Crystal Palace. -1 on the Asian line at plus 145 on the Premier League show. And they've just taken the lead at home to Aston Villa. I'll give you some updates on that, prices on that match there, but good moves with Crystal Palace. Hopefully Elise scored as well, because that was Steve's pick as well. I'll give you the update on that in a second. Go back to you now, Steve, Jack, on the match. It was Mateta who scored after 9 minutes. Crystal Palace has gone 1-0. Jack, what about that match you're watching?
Near the penalty shout there for Chelsea. They're all over Bournemouth, to be honest with you. I say Sterling's played in. Jackson went through 1-on-1. Keeper saved it. And Cole Palmer curled one just wide of the far post as well. That was unlucky. There's a bet I like in this game, actually. If you can get on play, I didn't put it as a tip purely because of the fact that obviously some stakes can't back cards. But cards is a live runner here. The line when I looked pre-game was about 3.5. But it's a game between two sides that have got a lot of form in it. And obviously Chelsea have plenty to play for today. Anthony Taylor's the referee as well. He's given the most cards in the Premier League this season. Bournemouth have conceded they had conceded 498 fouls. They've conceded a few already. That's the most in the Premier League since 2016, 2017. And Chelsea have got 107 cards across the season, 103 yellows and 4 reds. And that's a new Premier League record as well. So both sides certainly give it and take it. And Anthony Taylor, the referee, as well. So if you can get on, I think that I've played it. I've actually bought the booking points in this one. So 3.5 is the line with Bet Rivers. I think it's a live play.
Just to let you know, guys, the Crystal Palace, it's a VAR decision at Selhurst Park as well. So that could be a goal that's disallowed there for Mateta. They're looking at whether that's a goal. That's 2 goals we've got in on the final day of the season, and VAR could rule it. I mean, the Premier League clubs are
we're not loving the VAR.
We're not loving. If you're on the overs, you're not loving the VAR, but you will be loving the 15 minutes extra time at the end of the second half. That's the difference. You giveth and you taketh, Channers. That's the difference here. Let's have a look around the grounds. Look at the matches. Tottenham, they're still 0-0 against Sheffield United. They were heavy favourites. They're -265 in place. Sheffield United $6. The tie is 4.10 at the Emirates. Arsenal down to -435. Now the goal fest at Luton Fulham that we all expected is now a 2.5 goal game, Channers. It's -155 for over. Under is +117. The tie is 280. Fulham are +102 on the road. The 3-3 at Brighton v Man United is currently 0-0. 3.5 is still the goal line there. Brighton are +138. Man United are +163, and the tie is +290 in what looks the most competitive match of the day. And after that goal from Foden, Manchester City are -3,335 to 1 to beat against West Ham. We're 50 to 1 to win the game, and the tie is 22 to 1. If you're new to betting for Manchester City, you've got to bet $3,335 to win $100. If you put $100 on West Ham, you will lose $100. The total goals is 4.5 with over a -148 and under.
I heard one the other day, Nigel. I don't know if you heard this expression before. People that bet those kind of bets. Somebody said, which I thought was brilliant. They're the people that pick up pennies in front of steamrollers. I thought that was a brilliant expression for those people.
I used to know one guy used to do it. It was always betting as soon as something hit 50 on, 100 on, he was on all the time. Unbelievable. And I met a guy in Dubai. It's not a poem. I met a guy in Dubai, and he wanted to bet every tennis match to be over 6.5 games. Like 6.5 games in set 1 over or set 2 over, and he was betting -100 or -50. I mean, I don't know. It's not for me, that kind of strategy. But if you are, you will be betting all over Manchester City here. And Manchester City even get it short. I mean, they must be dominant here, Steve, because they're now -5,000.
I think the ball finally did actually go into Man City's half just now, but that's the first time it's happened. I was looking at the goal line for the first half, and it was actually minus money for over 2.5 goals in the first half, which it's one of those, isn't it, where I would actually go probably the under just based on value, but you know, it's settled down a bit more now. I think the goalkeeper's made a couple of saves. De Bruyne had a free kick saved. City, I think if they want to get that second goal, because then you feel comfortable, don't you? So I think that's what they're going to be looking for. If and when that happens, I think we're going to need to watch the game dynamics, because that could be a good time then to get on the unders maybe.
Yep, good news, Jack. The goal stands at Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are 1-0 against Aston Villa. Mateta got the goal, -435. Aston Villa +950. The tie is 5-4, and the total is 3.5 currently with the Bet Rivers. And it over is -155. A goal at Tottenham. Tottenham have gone 1-0 up against Sheffield United. Good news if you're on Steve's pick of 5-1. We only need Another 5 to go. And there's been a goal at Burnley v Nottingham Forest, and Nottingham Forest have taken a 2-0 lead there. A staggering lead. They're 2-0 up, which has blown out Jack's predictions, blown out Steve's prediction, blown out my prediction after 10 minutes. And Channers is the only one who's got a chance. He's gone for 2-1. Forest.
Come on, Burnley. Put one in.
I had that down as the most likely under of the day. I thought that'd be an absolute damn
we are supposed to be a panel of experts. We've got that down as the most under of the day. We've got it down as the most boring match of the day. No one really cares about it, and it's the most exciting after 10 minutes. The 3-3s and 6-1s. The 6-2 Liverpool game, that's 0-0. What's going on there?
Early days, Nigel.
Forest conceded, by the way. Forest conceded. I don't know what price they ought to score Burnley to score. Forest conceded before half-time in 12 of the last 13 away games. League games.
Oh, interesting. Now, I'm not the odds haven't been updated yet, which again suggests the VAR decision, and we're waiting to see whether that goal will stand in for us. That's 3 goals already on the fight. You would think they just give it a rest for the last day, wouldn't you? Oh, come on, we've had enough of it. They're getting rid of it. Why do we be so panicky and want to be? Is that the word? Panicky. Why we just get on with it? It's the final day of the season. Everyone's had a good whole year. We'll just have a laugh. 3 already in 14 minutes. Let's give you some updates at the Tottenham match. Obviously, Tottenham need a point to secure 5th place. Tottenham are now minus 590 after taking lead against Sheffield United. The tie is 650, and the draw and Sheffield United are 12 to 1. There was a screech there. Was anything happening?
What a goal!
A goal. Jack's got a goal.
Casado from the halfway line, but great ball through Chelsea. Sterling's gone to take it around the keeper. The keeper's stopped it with his legs, way out of his box. The ball's then broken to Casado. First time, bam. We're looking forward to the replay here to see how close to inside his own half he was, because he was certainly around the halfway line. Some strike. Seemed to be in the air for ages. So they played the ball up. Jackson on the halfway line. Lovely turn. Plays Sterling through. Doesn't quite get there. The keeper's actually took a touch. Then to Casado. Oh, he's a yard inside his own half, inside the Bournemouth half. What a strike.
I'll tell you what, he's quite good at this, isn't he, Neil? He's quite good at explaining the goals. He's better
than I'm going to be in a minute.
He's better than giving it. You better hope it's 0-0 in your game.
That's my main function.
You know what? It reminds me of my first drive at St Andrews. A slight fade to the left, to the right, and it was a lovely one. Beautiful goal. In on the full.
Okay, give you some updates. Chelsea now 1-0 up. Minus 625 is the price for Chelsea to win this match. Bournemouth for 15 to 1 to stage a comeback and win the match. And the tie is plus 650. Casado from the halfway line. What a goal. I'm watching it here.
Jack has good save. Nearly was 2-0.
What happened there?
Was 2-0.
What's happened, Steve?
Doku is such a
He's a great
menace,
player, this boy, isn't he? Great player.
Isn't he a menace? Like, I would hate to be facing him. Cuts inside as he always does. Good save from the goalkeeper. Otherwise, that would have been 2-0 Man City.
We'll go back to the Nottingham Forest match. And Nottingham Forest are 2-0 up now against Burnley. And Nottingham Forest are minus $5 to win that match. You would expect them to do that. But they, as Jack said, they do concede in the first half. And they have a terrible, terrible road record over the last couple of years. Plus 575 is the tie. Burnley are 11 to 1 to win this match. Am I right in thinking that Chris Wood, is he leaving Forest this season? Is he out of contract? I think Chris Wood's out of contract as well. And he scored both goals. So... Wow. That's very interesting. Look at these players. So you've got Lallana at the Brighton Manchester United game, and you obviously have a few players at Liverpool. I think Matip is out. You've got leaving Thiago Silva. Antonio at West Ham is out of contract as well. So look at those players. Channers, Arsenal. I mean,
it's actually been a slightly more entertaining game in the last 5 minutes. There's been a break for an injury, but. Pickford certainly had to be in action, and he's probably performed twice quite well, really. But then Everton had a bit of a go. They had a free kick about 25 yards out, and it hit the wall. But I mean, there's been corners to both sides and stuff going on, but it's still 0-0. And Arsenal are heading to like minus 300 now, so they are starting to drift out a little bit. Definitely the fans, the Arsenal fans, definitely, obviously, I mean, of course, they know what the score is, but you can definitely get that impression. The commentators are kind of talking about that a bit, that there's a kind of dejected feel around the stadium. And Arteta was quoted as saying, they don't have to worry about it. They just have to stay in their own lane and, do their thing.
But it's still only 1-0, isn't it, Steve? Any way of West Ham getting back into this?
I think I'm going to have to advise an in-running bet here, and
that's what you've been paid for. Don't be. I think I'm going to have to do some work. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I was just going to watch this, but I think I might have a bet on it.
Jeremy Doku is in the mood here today, right? He's plus 148 to score any time we bet Rivers. He just puts another good save out of the keeper. He loves to shoot. I think that's a big price. I mean, I don't know how long he's going to be on for today. He'll maybe come off about 65 minutes, I think, boys. But he's going to get more chances.
They're going to give a standing ovation to Haaland. He's going to be the Premier League top goal scorer. Foden will come off, I would have thought. They've got the FA Cup final next week. So that's why I quite like this. I'm still quite happy with the unders here, Channers, and I quite like your bet. Oh, well, it could be something. I think something happened at City. Is there anything?
There's just a second goal now. A second goal has been scored. It's Foden again. Doku with the assist here.
You don't get off your stake back, Steve.
I know you don't. I know. But this is again Doku, absolute best player on the field for me. Doku at the moment creates this goal. Foden with a very good finish. It's been coming. Manchester City have been completely dominant, and this looks like game over.
Well, it was game over. It's so much game over that Bet Rivers are not now stopped taking bets on Man City to win this and stop taking bets on Man City to win the Premier League title. Right. Instead of getting one hand on, they got both hands on it. West Ham are 375 to 1 to come back and win this game, and the tie is 100 to 1. But I think that has huge now ramifications of what's going on at the Emirates Channels. I mean, Arsenal hasn't really been factored into the price yet. Arsenal minus 375.
Well, actually, I would have to say that Everton are not looking that bad. They're kind of in the game here. Possession-wise, it's mostly Arsenal, but it's not a walkover. I would have said in the early stages it was like 90-10 possession. It's more like 2-1 possession now. Everton have definitely got a shot here. But,
Everton are even money plus 1.5.
Arsenal are definitely going to be a bit dejected, aren't they? It can't really help them at all. I mean, to an extent, it's not possible in this day and age, is it, to try and tell the players, don't find out what the score is or whatever. But I mean, it would have been better for them, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking of official picks. I think if I wasn't doing this show and trading this with you guys, I think I'd be all over the under goals at the Emirates. Under 2.5 goals is now even money. And I think the 1.5, I just think that it's so hard for players to lift themselves up when all their hopes were on one match. They're 2-0 up after 25 minutes. They know the whole season's gone for them, and it doesn't really matter now. So I want to get with Everton here. I really do. If you're watching this show and you've got any questions for the panel, or you want to know anything, or give us your thoughts, let us know what you think on these matches. Steve's going to be ahead of all that. There has been a goal at Brentford. We thought Ivan Toney had given the lead to Brentford, but it was disallowed. And it's Newcastle now, which is good for us on our picks as well on the Premier League show. Newcastle have taken the lead, and it's Harvey Barnes who scored the goal there after 21 minutes. So Newcastle are 1-0 up there. I'll give you the updates on that match in a second. What else is happening? We've got what about the competition, Steve? What's the range? What's the range of numbers when you're looking through?
Ooh, yeah, I think the range. I think we had the lowest. I think was 28, right? And I think the highest that I've seen is 41. I do believe.
So not as high as Jack. Jack's got the highest, 42. 42 is gone right.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit worried about
28.
Well, I'm a little bit worried about this 6-2 match at Anfield. That's what's worrying me. 9-1 the draw was in play at the beginning of the match. I thought that was huge. The draw now is $6. Liverpool are minus 560 and Wolves are 12-1. I'm going to come to you, Steve, because you give us the boldest prediction with the 6-2. The line is 3.5 on the over and under, with over still minus 120 after 23 minutes of play.
Well, I'm just looking at some stats for that game, and there's been 4 or 5 shots on target. There's got to be goals. I can't believe that 0-0 early doors. The goal line, by the way, now the Etihad is 5.5. I think under for that at the Etihad.
It depends what they get. It depends what they get to half time, isn't it?
You're better off doing it at half time, aren't you? You're better off at half time betting the under. To be fair,
yeah, I think at half time. I mean, to be fair, my 4, I'm worried senseless. Kids won't eat tonight if they get 5, but I'm worried about that. But I think half time, get to half, because it could be 4-0 up at half time. So get to half time, see where you are. You might get a bigger number at half time. I think then the second half, they'll showboat a little bit, make some substitutions, and see how they go. The only match we haven't spoken about was Channers' big play, the over 3.25 in Luton against Fulham. Currently, Fulham are favourites at even money. Luton are plus 260 with Bet Rivers, and the tie is 255. It's moved to a 2.5 goal game now, Channers, with over minus 117, under minus 113. Are you nervous? Or you
watched any of that for me?
I'm presenting this. I can't watch it.
What are you doing, Nigel? Come on.
What the game?
I mean, come on.
I'm a good boy. I only watch what's on normal TV. I don't have one of them dodgy them boxes that people have. I'm a good lad. I wouldn't watch it. So I'm only going by the Bet Rivers website. But at the moment, if you look at the stats, I've got the stats for you here, Channers. 2 corners, 1 yellow card. Not really much happening, really. It looks like a typical end of season. Just look at those stats there briefly. I don't know, but would you be looking to go in again at 2.5, or would you think,
I'm just sweating it now. But I immediately prior to doing this, I did pop round the bookie shop round the corner, and randomly an old geezer came up to me for no reason at all. I hadn't even spoken to him or looked at him or anything. And he said, Fulham is my best bet of the day. He just came over to tell me for some reason.
What, the guy told you this?
Yeah, it was a random geezer. Just came up and started banging on about it. Like I was interested.
What did you say? Thanks.
I said, mate, I'm a professional pundit. I don't need to get your selection.
But if Fulham win, he could come on next season. He'd do better than what we've done. We could get his number and come on in.
I would say, I don't like to be rude or anything, but I'm a snappier dresser than he was.
Really? Oh, my God. So Channers, you got the old Train Spotting top on there. Very good film, the Train Spotting. Not as good as Train Spotting.
I know.
Very, very nice. Great soundtrack as well. What's happening, Jack?
Cucurella's gone down holding his head. The ball had gone out of play. Taylor's got his yellow card out. So that's the first yellow card in that game that I mentioned. I'm sure they'll have a look at VAR, but the ball had gone out actually for a goal kick. That was one of them ones where they've kind of been jockeying it out. And then as Cucurella's come to walk on the pitch, I think it's Semenyo has thrown him to the floor. So, yeah, he's gone, a little bit of a kick. Throw him to the floor. Oh, dear me. He must have really hurt his head there. So, yeah, yellow card for Semenyo.
So currently the scorelines across the Premier League: Chelsea 1-0 up against Bournemouth, Burnley 0, Nottingham Forest 2, Sheffield United 0, Tottenham 1, Brentford 0, Newcastle 1, 0-0 at the Emirates, and that is now moving fast on the under 2.5 goals, minus 112. Arsenal still minus 335 on the money line. Crystal Palace are plus minus 335. They're 1-0 up against Aston Villa. Liverpool Wolves, probably the shock of the day so far. That's currently 0-0 in Jurgen Klopp's final match after 26 minutes. Liverpool are minus 530. Bet Rivers are keeping them very short because they expect an avalanche of attacks from Liverpool in the second half. Luton against Fulham is 0-0 as well. Brighton v Manchester United 0-0. Man City 2, West Ham 0 as well. So where we stand now, there isn't really that great amount of goals that we were hoping for across the board, is there?
It's not. There has been a second yellow card in the Chelsea game. Cucurella's been booked for his part in that as well because he kind of kicked the ball at Semenyo to start it off. So, anyone who did get on the cards, we're halfway there. To quote.
Right. Let me ask a question on these goals, because we talk a lot towards the end of the season about teams being on the beach. And do we think that in some of these games, if they are 0-0 with 20 minutes to go, they'll just fizzle out? Or do you think that, there's an end of term feel and people just, have a bit of a crack and they bring on lots of substitutes and young kids come on and have their chance? Which way do you think it goes?
I personally think it depends who comes on, because you do, like you said there, Neil, you get some hungry young kids who want to get might be their first ever senior goal or something like that. Alternatively, what was Nigel's stat? How many 0-0s on the final day in the last
five in the last 20 years?
That's not a lot, is it? I mean, that is really not a lot. So, and I'd imagine maybe at least one or two of them might have been in a game where it mattered for someone as well. So I think based on that, Doku with another shot on target for he wasn't Doku. I've got mixed up with someone else. It's Manchester City. Haaland missed an open goal, by the way, to make it 3-0.
Keep missing them. Keep them.
Yeah. So those who backed Haaland any time were absolutely really not happy about that moment.
I think as well with the unders, Channers, I think over the years that we've all been betting overs on the final day of the season because the line hadn't adjusted so much. 2 or 3 seasons ago, the total goals on a match on the Premier League would be 2.75 or like 3.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, 4.5 in some of these games is high, isn't
the
it?
lowest today was 3.5. So it was 3.5, 3.25, 3.754. I mean, it was crazy. Liverpool against Wolves. Wolves have had a player sent off. Semedo has been sent off. So now, if it wasn't tough enough for Wolves against Liverpool, now they are down to 10 men. We might get a 6-2.
I don't think I fancy the 2 goals again.
I always think a player being sent off, and especially a game like that, helps the unders than the overs.
I think it helps the under in a one-sided game like that. I think it really helps the under.
Well, the one thing I do know is that Wolves will not be scoring 2 goals, which was
I think my prediction's gone.
And my prediction as well went for 2-2. So that is no good. I can't see him. I'll give you the updates on the Wolves match now. Wolves are 40-1 to win the match. The draw, the tie is 13, and Liverpool are -2,000. Something might have happened there because the line has just been taken off the screen. So there may be a goal at Anfield, hopefully for all of us, because we've gone for a I went for the draw. The other guys have gone for a big win for Liverpool. Anything else happening on social, Steve? Any comments from anybody? Anything that you...
There's a question here from Kingsley Saver. What is Neil's stakes like? £100 a bet? ? Do you bet more on football compared to other sports, Neil?
It depends. I mean, today I haven't bet particularly big on the football. Quite a few 3-figure bets. Haven't had any 4-figure bets on the football today. Other sports, I'll bet bigger on the golf today than I'll bet on the football. I had a few bets on the golf, but yeah, I mean, I'm having like not huge bets, but loads of them in the football generally. I had about 7 bets today on the football.
I used to sit next to Channers many years ago in our office, and Channers has the smallest writing you'll ever see in your life. You need the magnifying.
Yeah, I don't like people looking at what I'm doing.
And Channers used to have a bit of A4 paper, and it had the smallest writing, and it was 4 one side and 4 one side. And that was by 2 o'clock. Yeah, there he is. There he goes. That's Channers bets. It's incredible. Just like tiny little bit of writing, all everything. Bits of paper. He had all these little.
I got bits of paper all over the place here.
You know what, guys? I mean, we're talking about
these
Channers
ones as well. There's a few bits of paper.
We're talking about Channers writing and bets of paper. It shows you how quiet it is on the final day of the Premier League season. Really, really quiet. You would expect the goals coming in. I think that the fact there's not much at stake now. The title looks like it's done. The relegation battles are we're 15, 20 minutes away now from half time. Channers, what would be? I mean, you've done a lot of these final days of the season. How do you sort of approach going into the second half? You know, there's obviously a much more. The goals go up, the bookings tend to go up. What would you factor in for the final day of the season? And the goals
you know, obviously it is a bit different because the motivational factor is in there. I tend to think that you know, it's very specific to the game. So Liverpool Wolves, where one team's down to 10 men, I do think that leans towards the under. This Arsenal game, I'm imagining it'll open up in the second half because they'll come in, they'll have the team talk, and he's going to say, well, what the hell's going on? You know, you started off tentatively because you didn't want to kill your chances. But the other mob are winning 2-0. You've got to actually win. So I think they'll play with a bit more urgency in the second half. I would fancy, some goals to open up in that. Everton haven't played too badly, and their keepers probably saved them a couple of times. I mean, looking at some of the other games, Brighton, Man U, that could be a game that just fizzles out, where both teams are a bit fed up with the season and couldn't care less now. Nice sunny day here in Brighton. You know, I mean, in this Arsenal game, they've stopped to take on fluids a couple of times. I mean, it is quite warm today. I mean, generally, I sort of think in UK football that leads towards more goals. Nice weather, but we are a little bit under par on the goals so far today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the in-play odds here. It is to all as well. I mean, it's staggering. We've got 4 matches that are currently 0-0 on the final day of the season, and all 4 of those matches, one of them is still 3.5 goal line, and the other 3 are 2.5 goal lines with under around about even money or just below -110. I mean, these matches in years gone by would be 1.5 goal lines, maybe 1.25 goal lines in some of them. We haven't got the goals we've seen, but everyone, the lines, I suppose the bettors still believe that the second half we're going to go crazy.
Been a trend all season, though, hasn't it? The first half hasn't always been that high.
Yeah, but we have I know the first half hasn't been high scoring, but we've never had it. The final day, you've got the game's a 0-0. The Liverpool game is 0-0 now, right? And it's even money under 3.5.
Yeah, but the goals will come in the 98th minute these days.
You need four of them. There's only one.
I mean, this Arsenal game might have 6 minutes added on in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that the line's at 3.5 and 2.5 in the way this. If the line is wrong at the beginning of the match, and it's going to, these are all computer generated prices that move on and move on and move on. It's obviously slightly wrong now on the overs and the unders. But I've been saying that for 7 months, and I've got it wrong every single week. So give me a chance on the final day. I'm not going to change anything. Can't believe it. We haven't had a goal in the Premier League now for probably.
It's like an 8-minute period, isn't it, with no goal, really? Maybe.
Unbelievable. I think there is a goal at Anfield, and I told you overs was a bet. Liverpool have gone 1-0 up against Wolves, and it's Alexis McAllister who scored the goal there. He's had a bit of a bad season, really, Alexis McAllister, the Argentinian, but he's given the lead to Liverpool. And now you would expect the floodgates to open. Wolves have got 10 men behind the ball. They finally break them down, and it's a header from Alexis McAllister that's put Liverpool 1-0 up, which means now that will be over as a betting event. There is a market suspended, Channers. It might be good news for you. Luton against Fulham, the market is suspended.
I saw that. I did notice that a second ago.
It could be that it's so boring it was a throw on. Or there could be a goal, so we don't know what's happening.
I think the market opened up again. It was suspended for just a second. I don't know what happened, but
it's back suspended now. And usually, when the market suspends, there may be a little bit of goal action there. But we're waiting to see what's happening at Kenilworth Road.
Probably just a friendly punch up.
Yeah, just a little bit of a friendly punch up. Now Arsenal still 0-0, and nothing's really changed on these markets. And this is the real scary thing.
It's become a little bit of a dull game, really. I mean, Arsenal probably had a 6-minute period where they didn't really do anything in front of goal, really. I mean, they've had some attempts. Probably they had 2 shots on target in the game, and both times they came up against a decent keeper. Possession-wise, is much more even now, though. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily know which side was at home, really, if you just watched the last kind of 15 minutes of the game.
Yeah, a goal at Brentford. Brentford 0, Newcastle 2. Jacob Murphy has scored for Newcastle. Newcastle are now 2-0 up. It was a good bet for our pick. I've given Newcastle on the Premier League show. Looking good for our picks in there because we've got Crystal Palace, Jack's bet of the weekend. The only one that we're really a little bit concerned about is Man City. Obviously, the under 4 there. We don't want them to get a cricket score before half time. Luton is still 0-0. Channing, Luton, Fulham still 0-0. Goal line still 2.5, but now under 2.5. It's been heavily back -182, so big move on the
away with the suspend. Had me sweating.
I know. Well, I've got to keep it going. We've got to keep the entertainment going. We can't be dropping off there. So really now, looking to run through the scores, we have Chelsea 1, Bournemouth 0, Burnley 0, Nottingham Forest 2, Sheffield United 1, Tottenham 1, Brentford 0, and now Newcastle are 3-0 up against Newcastle. So against Brentford. So that game looks like what it is over there. Newcastle will be playing in European football. Arsenal 0, Everton 0, Crystal Palace 1, Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 1, Wolves 0, Luton 0, Fulham 0, Brighton 0, Man United 0, and Manchester City still hold that 2-0 lead against West Ham. Waiting to see who scored the third goal against Newcastle. Jack, Chelsea's got that goal, that wonderful goal by Caicedo. Anything happen? Is it sort of?
Yeah, it's a good game actually. There's kind of Chelsea dominating the ball, and Bournemouth are playing with a really high line, and Chelsea are trying to just nip it in behind them virtually every time they attack, and they've got through a few times, and they should be more than 1-0 up, to be honest with you. And there's been 3 yellow cards. That's the main thing on that one. There was another card for a dive from a Bournemouth player. I couldn't quite work out who it was, but 3 yellows there. And but good game. Good, yeah. Looks like there should be more goals in it, and likely from Chelsea.
I don't know if you're following the odds on the game, that match there. Chelsea are -625 now, 1-0 up. Bournemouth are 15. The tie is +650. The over and under is 3.5. Anything on the props? What about Thiago Silva? Is he going up for corners?
He's going up for corners. Yeah. I kept my eye on them. They've had a couple this half, but not towards him as yet. But yeah, as you say, as that game progresses, and if they certainly get another one, then that penalty shout that you made could be a live runner. But he's on the ball now, actually. Shoot from there.
He's 19 to 1 to score the next goal and 8 to 1 to score any time. Jack, you did make a very interesting stat on that match about the penalties.
The penalties, what was it?
You said that no team have given more penalties away than Bournemouth.
No team has won more penalties than Chelsea. They've had 12 this season, and Bournemouth are third, I think, as far as they're given 7 away. So
now another good goal for Jack. Crystal Palace 2, Aston Villa 0, and that man Mateta has scored again, his second goal of the game. That's another one that's over. What a great price that was. Crystal Palace channels were plus 130 when Aston Villa qualified for when Tottenham went 1-0 down. And a guy on Twitter messaged me and said to me, I'm back in Crystal Palace at plus 130. They're going to be minus 115. And to be fair, I agree. He was absolutely right. Great show. And they started off minus 160, I believe. And that now they're sort of a goal. We have a goal, Channis, in your match, I think.
Oh yes, sorry. I was. That was me having a quick look at your game. I don't know what happened there.
Arsenal are losing at home to Everton. Arsenal 0, Everton 1.
Oh my God!
Everton has happened. We did have that Chris Kamara moment with Challenge. It was there, but that has really shocked it up. And we did say that Arsenal could be vulnerable with them going up. And Arsenal.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the first 10 minutes was all Arsenal. Since then, it's been a very even match, really. I mean, Arsenal have been a bit anemic, to be honest with you. They had a couple of shots. But yeah, I missed that one. Sorry about that.
Challenge. Now, this is a serious question now. Arsenal are minus 350 to win the match.
Yes.
As before that goal went in. Obviously, how would you bet now without looking? Don't look. I know you're watching the horse race.
Obviously, I've already looked.
Have you looked?
Arsenal are 11 to 10 now, even money 11 to 10 between the two. And Everton are like just under 3 to 1, so plus 375.
It's actually moved it. Arsenal now 11 plus 240 Everton now. The money come for Everton immediately after the money's come for Everton.
On the balance of play and the way the market was at the start and the way the market was at the time of that goal, you can only be with Everton here, really. I mean, I think at around about 2.5 to 1, 2 3/4 to 1, I couldn't possibly bet Arsenal at close to even money here.
I mean, that bet when it was 2-0 and the plus 2 goals and the plus 1.5 goals Everton was great. And this is what I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but what I will say, I did say, Jake, didn't I, in the show last week that time that Arsenal will get beat is if Man City are 2 or 3-0 up, the atmosphere at Arsenal will drop and Everton become a live betting play at 9 to 1. And this is what's happening. Whether they hold on or not, I don't know. Anyway, there's been a second goal at Liverpool. I did say over 3.5 goals was a great bet in that one as well. I didn't. Quansah has scored in successive games. He scored the centre-half. The young centre-half scored his first goal for Liverpool. They were showing off a very nice kit for next season. Very Crown Paints. Remember the Crown Paints?
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Down. Liverpool are 2-0 up against Wolves. That's over as a betting event. There's no way Wolves are coming back there. The 6-2 could be on, Steve. The 6-2 could be on. Could be on. But we're going to look at that one there. The over and under. We'll wait for the over and under line up. Crystal Palace are 2-0 up, as we said. That's great for me and Jack on the Premier League show. I've gone for Crystal Palace -1 at plus 145. Jack has gone for Palace on the money line. And then we're now minus 2,000 to win that match. Aston Villa 45 to 1, the tie is 14, and the over-under is 3.5. Liverpool, you can't bet Liverpool. The market is closed on Liverpool. If you want to bet Wolves to win this match, you can get 800 to 1 with Bet Rivers. The tie is 120 to 1, and the over and under now is 5.5 with under a favourite at minus 177. So finally, the goals are coming in. I don't think there's going to be enough to save the 42 and 41 quotes, but there is goals coming in around the ground. Unfortunately, though, there's a lot of games that aren't really competitive. Arsenal have scored, Channers. What's happened?
Oh, no.
Oh, wow. There we go. I'm so useless. I thought Man City had scored because the thing's suspended. I was busy watching that.
You're supposed to be watching Arsenal.
I know, but you suddenly said something about there's been a goal. I saw Man City and I was like, oh, God, what's happened there? I couldn't even tell you who scored, to be honest with you, mate.
Well, after the score, we're going to get the price.
As soon as I said you couldn't possibly back Arsenal at 11 to 10, they immediately equalised. And now they're minus
Yasu.
250.
Tommy Yasu who scored.
West Ham have a corner.
West Ham have a corner. West Ham have a corner.
Breaking news. It's the first time, I think. You know, they might get something from this.
Channers, I have some. Before we come back to Steve on that corner, I have some good news for you, Channers. Fulham, your mate, get him on. They're 1-0 up.
He knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about.
Get the old boy out of the betting shop.
The Premier League show next season.
Oh
with the old
my
boy.
God, West Ham scored. It's
there it is.
Oh. This is an overhead kick from Kudos.
I tell you what, this is
Kudos.
This is a candidate for goal of the season.
It's good news for the 4-1
You
punters.
would not believe
this is not good for the under 4 goals.
This is like a one in a.
Talk us through it, Steve. It's a game. It could be
the
game
corner
on.
comes in.
The 3-1.
They don't properly clear it, but he's got his back to goal here. You think, he's just going to go well over the top. Beats the keeper with an overhead kick. Stunning effort. Absolutely stunning effort. Probably their first shot of the game, I think, let alone shot on target.
Do you know what? I'm actually watching. I've just seen that goal, and one of the Man City defenders actually claps him, as if to say, "Wow, like that is it. That is an
outrageous goal."
I don't usually talk about it, but there was an overhead kick a few years ago that's in a charity match somewhere. That I don't usually say much about it. It's very similar to that. It's just something I don't really speak about much anymore. But it's game on. And ask that, Channers, are you watching this Arsenal match? It's 1-1. What's the atmosphere like at the Emirates now?
Well, I think it certainly sparked a bit more atmosphere in the match. I mean, you know, if... So I'm laughing because I have done exactly what you said, haven't I? There's too much going on. I can't watch one game. It's so exciting when there's lots of things going on. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, I've called it wrong, haven't I? Because I said immediately as soon as Everton scored that I wouldn't bet Arsenal at 11-10 even money. They're into like minus 225 now, Arsenal. And and money is coming for them as well at that kind of price. I suppose people think now, you know, that with the West Ham goal, there's momentum behind them, isn't there, in betting terms?
Yeah, I mean, that will be absolutely huge. That goal will be celebrated on the North Bank as though Arsenal have won the Premier League title. But Arsenal are back in it. It's 1-1 against Everton. It's 2-1 against Man City. It's not very good for our under 4 goals bet. We did one thought we've done part of us we never expected. None of us. Neil did. Neil done the 3-1.
3-1. I had.
Neil, yeah, you've gone for the 3-1. So that's it's game on now. Arsenal 1-1. Arsenal minus 265 at Bet Rivers. Half time is approaching. Everton at $9. The tie is 320. Total goals is 4.5 on Arsenal against Everton. The only game now, 0-0, is the one that I said will be 3-3. I got the draw right. Brighton against Manchester United, it's 0-0. But the market has been suspended, so there may be something happening there. Brighton against Manchester United. We'll see what's going on there. Man City, game on. West Ham, and we're out to 800 to 1 to win their match. They're now 90 to 1. The tie is 22 to 1, and Man City are minus 5,000. So, yeah, it's really competitive, that match, isn't it? Minus 5,000. Liverpool against Wolves. I know you like your props, Jack. Liverpool are always good at corners in the second half, always come through. Klopp's last game, do you expect a flurry of Liverpool corners?
Yeah, they're always a strong side, aren't they, for corners? Even more so when they're... I don't know what end they're attacking. Are they attacking the Kop? That seems to be a factor as well.
They are attacking the Kop. So good news for your channel. Luton 1, Fulham 1. The overs is on.
Oh, this is what we like to hear. Showed that geezer in the betting shop. What did he know?
Yeah, it's Colton Morris. He's scored a penalty for Luton in 1-1 against Fulham. Hopefully there'll be some goals in that one. We're all on the overs in that one. Brighton v Man United is the first match. Is 0-0 half time. 0-0. At half time. There was 7 corners in the first half in that match between Liverpool and Wolves as well. So, there's always corners in the first half, and they are attacking the Kop in the second half. What we're going to do when the final whistles, when the halftime whistles come, we're going to take a little break for about 5 to 10 minutes, a little refreshment break for the lads. Oh. It's hot. Is it goal?
Not Chelsea, no. I was happened to be looking somewhere else and I saw it flash up. It's,
okay.
In that game.
It can happen.
What game?
The Fulham game.
You've lost
Luton
me.
Fulham.
Oh, yes, it's 1-1 Luton Fulham.
No, 2-1.
Is it 2-1 now?
Yeah, Fulham.
Oh, Channers,
2-1 Fulham.
3.25.
He knows that geezer. He knows that geezer. By the way, I said there'd be a bit of extra time in this Arsenal game. They're playing 7 minutes of additional time. So
Okay, so what we're going to do, me, Jack, we're going to leave you commentate for the last 7 minutes of the show. Yeah. No
if there's
problem.
2 more goals, I might see one of them now.
Right, you'll let us know.
Game playing, that might help.
You'll let us know what's going on there.
I'll be having a quick look at the goal.
We'll get your thoughts on the golf. Anyway, Luton 1, Fulham 2. So that is a big change around. There wasn't a goal in that match. 43 minutes, the first goal come in. 2 goals in second half of injury time in the first half. And it's Luton 1, Fulham 2. And that is a very, very interesting betting heat going into the second half there. The latest odds on that match
is the 3-3 detector bleeping a bit, Nigel?
It's bleeping in that one. It's not bleeping so much down by you, John, as it Brighton v Manchester United. How many goals have we got so far, Stephen? We've got 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9.
I don't know how many there is, but I can tell you, I've counted up the entrance.
19.
We've
had 19
people. 22 people had a go at this.
So, yeah.
One person on Twitter. I don't know if we'll allow that or not.
Of course we can.
27. The shout on. The lowest was actually Paul Laguna with 25.
Right.
Nobody went for 18 or lower. Nobody's lost already.
The highest is 42.
That's Jack Wright from Norwich.
And there's quite a lot in obviously in the middle of that range, so it'd be interesting if it gets close towards the end of play here. And
if that is the so we got 19 goals, did we say in the first half so far? 19
so far.
So it's all happening now. Head across to the BetRivers website. There'll be more action there. Unfortunately, a lot of these matches, from a betting perspective, Chelsea are very heavy favourites, Nottingham Forest heavy favourites, Tottenham heavy favourites. The one that's really interesting from a betting is definitely the one at the Emirates. I'm so glad we've got our main man on the case for the second half. Eagle-eyed Channing, he won't miss a trick.
This is something I did think was kind of interesting at the Emirates. A big rumour went around the stadium that West Ham had scored again.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Man City need half time here. West Ham are all over them.
So it's kind of one of those things, isn't it? That if you kind of start that as a wind up, that can go around the stadium.
Yeah, but
really
the thing
quickly.
is, that used to be the case where people just didn't have mobile phones. Everyone's on a phone. Oh, there's a rumor. No one's on Twitter, social media, and there's a rumor. It still goes around.
It's so funny, that idea that we could still have that in this day and age. A rumor went round.
Rumor has it in the second half that Channing will be paying 100% attention for 45 minutes on the action. The Premier League title is not over yet. Arsenal are currently 1-1 against Everton. West Ham are all over Manchester City, and it's still 2-1 there. We're going to take a little break. We're going to be back in about 7.5 minutes or so. We come back for the second half. It's very, very hot today. The players on the pitch are taking a little break. So
the problem that I've not got a graphic. I've not got a graphic for like half-time break. So
play on.
Well, there is nothing. So just if you need to go off, I'll hold the fort and then. You can.
We can't have that. We can't.
Well, I don't know what we do. I can't end the actual. I can't end the actual.
If you want someone to hang out with you, I'm happy to. Although I have to say,
can you still do
45 minutes. For 45 minutes, I've had a chocolate eclair sat in front of me. Would anybody object if I ate it at half time?
When I ask you, is it the little eclairs or the actual big chocolate eclairs? Like the little.
No, it's like we're talking cigar-shaped chocolate eclair.
Read what it says on your top there. It says cholesterol. Be very careful. Be very careful with that chocolate eclair. No, you've got to have that. It'll melt otherwise.
It's been sat there for 45 minutes plus 7 minutes of extra time.
Exactly. Chad, you know what you are? You're naughty but nice. Okay, I'm going to go and get a glass of water. If you want to go and get a break, we'll come back. Chad's going to eat his chocolate eclair. Steve, you're going to do a rendition of Take That.
It is half time in the Arsenal Everton now, by the way. They finished all that injury time that they had.
Channers, it was half time 8 minutes ago.
No, it was only like a second ago.
It's all happened in the second half. The Premier League title was on. Go and get yourself a cup of tea, have a drink, come back and join us for the second half. Steve, if you can get some view, any comments on the show, anybody wants to get through for the second half, any questions you have when we come back, we'll answer those questions. And hopefully you enjoyed the first hour, and it's all to come for the second half. See you in a little bit.
Well,
he's gone.
Nigel is gone. Jack's going to go.
Go on, Jack. Mateta. on fire for Palace, isn't he? And he's talked up his chances of getting called up for the French national team for the Euros. Do you think is that a remote possibility? Because they've got Giroud as their 9, haven't they?
I think unless an injury came, it's a big squad though, isn't it? Is it 26-man squad now for the Euros? I mean, I'd take him. I mean, he's one of the hottest strikers in the world, really. You know, in the big leagues right now. So, I mean, I can't believe do you know what price he was to score today? Because I tell you what, I mean, I always get drawn to their 2 best players, Elise and Eze, right?
Yeah,
they are better players than Mateta. But for some reason, I didn't think about Mateta scoring today, even though he was actually the man in form. I don't know why. I was like,
Elise up in that parlay on the Premier League show.
Elise's assisted, but he hasn't scored.
Is he?
But you know, I'm going to have a look at the stats over the halftime games now. I tell you, what's an interesting one in the Luton game. Before I forget this, there's a player on the Luton bench who I quite like if he comes on to score at any time, and that is Pele, Ruddock, and Panzu.
Oh yeah,
and I'll tell you why I like that, because if he scores today, he will have scored in all 5 tiers of the English league system, the top 5 leagues. Yeah,
and also Luton.
Yeah, and he's a big legend there. So I just wonder. I'm sure he'll come on at some point. Would he maybe nick a penalty? You know, especially if there's nothing at stake in the game. So I'm going to keep my eye out if and when he comes on the field. Nice. You probably get about 10-1 on him any time.
No, you probably
will.
So
that's what I'm looking at. I'm going to have a look at the stats now through the other games. But do you think there's more goals in the Chelsea match from what you saw?
It's been a really open game, and it's been a good watch. And as I said, Chelsea have had 2 or 3 chances where it just hasn't quite fallen. I'm just watching that replay of that brilliant goal from Caicedo. Actually, again, you can watch it over and over. But
some good goals so far.
Well, it sounds of it, yeah. But Chelsea have been in and around the Bournemouth box a few times, and it just hasn't quite fallen for them. Jackson's had a couple of half chances. Palmer's been a little bit off the pace today, but Sterling actually looks quite lively. But so the Bournemouth are playing a very high line, so they've got a lot of opportunities. Chelsea are just flipping it around the sides, and they're going through. But Bournemouth have caused some problems on the break towards the end of the half. Tavernier has had a decent effort, well saved, and also just put one wide. But it looks to me like there should be at least another couple of goals in that one.
Goal line is 3. Asian goal line of 3 there.
Yeah, I like it.
So you just need 3 goals and you get a push there. Imran Kamali has got some suggestions here. I'm going to put them up on the screen. Imran likes draw double chance, Luton at plus 200 at halftime. He also likes Man United on the Asian handicap plus 0.25 and over 1.5 goals. Neil Francis says that Eclair looks very nice, Neil.
It's very nice.
I have to say, it does look very nice indeed. Halftime snacks, I was thinking, I might have to get a pie on the go or something. It's a
little bit hot for an Eclair, really. I mean, but I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of fancying another cup of tea now, but there's too much going on.
There is a lot going on. I mean, let's go through the goal lines at the minute. Manchester City 2, West Ham 1. We've got an Asian goal line of 5.25 for that game. Arsenal Everton, the goal line is between 3.75 and 4. This is the Asian goal lines. Brentford Newcastle. Right. Yeah, Brentford Newcastle 4.75 goal line. That could be an under. I mean, Newcastle have got what they want, unless Ivan Toney wants to get himself another goal. Brighton against Man United is the lowest goal line on offer. Asian goal line of 2.
Well, we said it during the when was it? God, so many games in recent weeks. Can't remember when it was, but it was. I was saying during the week, and I did an in-play saying that if you want to get on United games, wait, because they tend to have very late goals, and there was in that one as well, wasn't there, during the week? But in fact, there was 2. So yeah, I think that one is worth keeping your powder dry.
Paul Laguna says he's got a gift for me, Ravens related. Paul, you absolute legend. That is very, very much appreciated. Shall I give it to Nigel next month? Absolutely, give it to Nigel next month, and I'm sure I'll be able to get get that to my house. But thank you. Thank you. I don't know what the gift's going to be, but
I assume that's the Ravens, the NFL team.
Kingsley.
Birds.
Kingsley asked, "What does it say on Nigel's T-shirt?" It looks like an essay about cholesterol.
That's Neil. That's Neil's T-shirt. Yes, it's from Train Spotting. You know, choose life, choose cholesterol.
Yeah.
You know, all that kind of stuff. Choose 7 minutes of injury time in the first half.
Imran is looking at the Liverpool goal line. He said he had Wolves plus 2.5. That's looking in danger.
What have I missed?
I'm afraid.
Chandler's is on the ball. What's happened? What was the eclair
It was
like?
a terrific eclair, I have to say. You missed an absolute great eclair.
Was it? Jenny eclair is my favourite.
Jenny eclair.
What was your snack of choice, Nigel? You on the oranges at half time?
Banana.
Very sensible. Get your potassium levels up for the second half.
Yeah. Banana and frazzles.
Jack, do you think Bournemouth score today? Mark Noland asks. Do you think there's a goal for Bournemouth?
Do you know what? You said it earlier. I think because of Chelsea's defence, then you always kind of fancy the opposition. I was on both teams to score no during the week in Brighton, and it looked like it was cruising in until Reece James did a stupid kick out, and then they put 10 minutes of added time on, and they scored off like 98 minutes, didn't it? So they do look threatening on the break. So I don't know what the odds are on that at this moment in time for a goal, but yeah, I think it looks like they've got a good chance.
What we're going to do now, Steve, is we're going to run through the predictions and see how we're getting on at half time. So Manchester United against West Ham, 2-1 at half time. We're all out of the race apart from one man, Neil Channing. He's gone for 3-1 Man City against West Ham. So myself, Jack and Steve, we've bombed out on that one.
I mean, it's not perfect for me, is it, really? I mean, I don't know. What price is 3-1 now?
3-1 in play now on Man City v West Ham is currently. Let me find it for you. I don't think they've got it. Have they? It doesn't look like they've got it.
It's going to be in the kind of 9 to 2.
Plus 390.
Plus 390.
Yeah, okay.
So, right, you're in great. You're in much better shape than the rest of us. Arsenal v Everton. We're all out. We've all gone for 2-0 Arsenal. We've all bombed out on that one, so that can't happen there. Chelsea v Bournemouth. 4-1 for Jack, 3-1 for Steve, 3-2 for Neil, 3-0 for me. So I've got a little bit of a chance on winning that one. Sheffield United against Tottenham. 4-2 Jack, 5-1 for Tottenham for Steve. 3-1 Neil, 2-1 myself. So we all.
Why did we get that one so wrong? Why we all fancied goals in that? What's been going on there?
Sheffield United conceded 100 and whatever of them. Brighton v Man United. 3 of us went for the draw, but 1-1, 2-2, 3-3. Steve went for Brighton to win 3-1. It's currently 0-0, so we're all looking off that. But half a point for the draw boys. Brentford Newcastle. 3-1 for me, 3-1 for Steve, 3-1 for Jack, 2-2 for Channers. It's currently 3-0, so Chandler's is the only one out there. Liverpool v Wolves, 5-1, 6-2, 3-1, 2-2. I can't see Wolves scoring the 10 men in the second half, so we struggle there. Luton v Fulham. Now, this is the one. The 3-3 could be on here. We need it for the Premier League show as well, Jack, for the figures. Yes. We need the 3-3 here. It's 2-1 to Fulham. 2-2 is Neil's prediction. 2-2 is Steve's prediction. 3-3 for me. 3-2 for Jack. So,
and that was my best bet was the over 3.25. My strongest bet.
Strongest
12-1 now, Nigel, for the 3-all at Kenilworth Road.
Well, we've got a chance here. Crystal Palace against Villa, 3-1, 3-1, 3-1, 3-2 for Channers. 2-0 for Palace. Great performance in the first half. And Burnley v Forest, the only one who can get anywhere there is Neil. He's the only one. He's 2-0. He's gone to 2-1.
2-1 Forest.
Yeah, Jack. Have you looked at any props in the second half? We look at the money lines. I mean, is there any, if you were, I know you're not going to have a chance to really place many bets here today. But if you weren't doing this show here, where would you be heading? What sort of angle would you be looking for the prop markets? Thinking, where would you go?
Yeah, you nailed it with Liverpool. They even got a couple of corners, didn't they? After you mentioned it, and there was only like seconds left in that one. So they've had 7 in the first half. So that one's a strong play. We mentioned it's not a prop, but I said late goals I like in Man United games normally, so that'd be something to keep an eye on there. Palace are generally good for corners as well. I haven't
16.5 is the line with Bet Rivers for the second half, with over -108 on that Liverpool game and 9 corners so far.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a play. I think they're going to just. The good thing with Liverpool when you're back in them, isn't it? Especially going towards the Kop, even more so how on Klopp's last day, is they just keep going. They're not a side that goes, oh yeah, we've had enough there and park it. So yeah, expect that one to keep going. I'll have a look through now, just of some of the props. So
yeah. Look, Steve, any messages? A lot of people have given us some. Thank you very much for watching. We've had a huge amount of people watching the show in the first half. Thanks for joining us. Pass the message across. A lot of people have saying this. Look, do it next Saturday, next season. It's the trouble is this is a great concept because the games all kick off on the same time on the Saturday and the Sunday. Unfortunately, the Premier League now the games don't kick off on the same time, so it's very difficult for us to do. We'd love to do it, but obviously this one lends itself with goals and lends itself with betting action, and we expect a bit more on that in the second half. Steve, what's the feedback on socials and on the Twitter?
Really good, and I want to thank everyone who's joined us live. And put some very kind comments in. I think we've got Kingsley Savers just said we're better than Sky Sports News. So that's
I won't go that.
I mean, he may be being quite insulting to them, really. I mean,
while there's a lot here, I just want to say, if you're not subscribed to the channel, do hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and follow us on the Instagram.
That is very professional of you to remember to say that.
Well, you always remind me to do it, Neil. So I thought I'll get in there before you give me a telling off.
You've done well.
So,
yeah, and obviously Instagram as well. All this kind of stuff is going good. Now, guys, enough of the small talk. Stop eating the eclair, Channers. Stop eating.
Finish the eclair. The eclair's gone. History.
I thought you had a topic. Topic was usually your snack.
They don't do them anymore. I mean, don't upset me now. You're trying to put me on tilt.
So we've all got your best bets for the first half and the match itself. If we're now going in fresh with a fresh page, what would be our best bet? Jack, you've got a little bit of time to look at the markets. Where would you be heading now for your best bet?
Oh wow, I'm going for goals in this Chelsea game. So obviously I watched that the most. So you say the goal line was 3, Steve?
It's 3.5 and on the main line, but you can bet 3 on the Asian.
Yeah, that'd be mine then, because this looks like nice and open, and they've been going for it. So yeah, over 3 Asian.
Over 3 the Asian. That is a push. Channers, where are we heading with goals for you, or your best bet for yourself?
Come back to me a second. I'll think of one. There's a couple I kind of like.
Steve, you got anything you like?
Yeah,
you're watching the Man City West Ham game.
Sheffield United game, and I think the over 3 Asian at Sheffield United against Spurs. Spurs have an XG of like 2.3 in that first half, and we know Sheffield United concede so many goals. The avalanche of goals should come in the second half there. But the Man City game, that goal from West Ham has completely thrown me, because I think it could change the dynamic of things. I was loving the likes of the under goals in the second half, but West Ham seemed to get the bit between their teeth after scoring that goal, as you would do. So I want to see how the first 10 minutes goes in the second half of the Etihad Stadium. I'm on Doku anytime. I still think there's a goal in him if he wants it. Hoping he'll stay on the field long enough.
Nigel, why do you nip to the pub? Steve did come up with a very good one of the bet that you would like. It was on Pelly and Penzo, wasn't it? The Luton. Yeah, if he comes off the pitch, off the bench, sorry, and scores a goal, he would score a goal in all the top 5 English domestic leagues. So that would be quite an achievement for him.
This is what we pay you the big bucks for, Steve. This is what we.
I'm waiting when he comes on. I'm looking to get on him. I reckon he'll be about 10-1, maybe even more. And
hopefully the score to make it 3-3.
A last minute penalty celebration. Imagine that.
What about that? That would be the best. My bet in the second half is a trend that's gone throughout the whole week. Getting with Palace in the second half here. I'm going to go for Palace minus 2.5 goals at minus 105. So I expect Palace to win the second half, and I think they'll go on and win probably more than the 2-goal margin they have now. We're obviously on them -1 on the Premier League show. We're on them on the money line, and we're going to go with them again here, minus 2.5 goals. I expect Palace to put on a bit of a show. They score loads of goals in the Gazla. There's a goal already. Where are we heading?
We are heading to Stamford Bridge, where there has been a second goal for Chelsea.
And that
Chelsea
was
2.
Your picks as well, Jack. Your pick was over 3 goals.
It was, yeah. So a good start there. 47 minutes on the clock. So very nice and early in the second half. A great run this. Raheem Sterling picks the ball up halfway line, plays a 1-2 with Cole Palmer. Right on the edge corner of the box. Squares up Max Aarons, inside and out. keeper's through his legs by the looks of it, but has done him on the near post. So Raheem Sterling amongst the goals.
Raheem Sterling amongst the goals there, and more goals at Anfield as well. Liverpool are now 3-0 up in the second half. There's 1 minute taken. They've gone 3-0 up already. The goals took a bit of time, but they are now in cruise control at Anfield. It didn't come from a corner. There was no corner, but they are now 3-0 up there.
Just kicked off at the Etihad for the second half.
Just kicked off in the Premier League title. And there's been another goal. The goals are coming thick and fast. Brentford have scored against Newcastle.
3-1.
Newcastle were 3-1 up. That is the correct score prediction for myself, Jack, and Steve. 3-1. Channers has bust already 2-2. Maybe a little bit early for us, but it's 3-1 over there. Give you some updates.
I'll tell you what, you asked me for a good bet for the second half. I think I'm going to have to take. I'm going to take the overs in that Burnley Forest game. I think I could see that really opening up.
I thought you were going to say you're going to take the overs in the Liverpool game, or Liverpool to score next.
Well, that would have been a good one, obviously. I wouldn't do that to you.
Another goal.
Third goal.
A third goal. So there's 3 goals already as cash. Who scored it? Which way has it gone?
It's gone to Bournemouth. Chelsea 2.
Wow.
1.
Wow.
And it's the replacement of Dominic Solanke there. Has scored by the looks of it. I didn't quite catch all of that one, so I'm now going to watch the replay. Build up there from Bournemouth through the middle, goes out wide on the left-hand side, cross into the box, touch, and he's kind of scuffed it, and it's on target, but it's one of the Chelsea defenders has stuck a left leg out and it's put it in the top of the roof of the net. Keeper no chance. 2-1.
We said, didn't we, Jack? But we can't trust that Chelsea defence. It just finds ways to concede goals.
It does.
Game on at Stamford Bridge. Unfortunately, the goal for Liverpool has been disallowed. It was 2-0. VAR's disallowed that goal. But the goal that does stand has come at Kenilworth Road, where Fulham were leading 2-1. Fulham are now 3-1 up at Luton. Channers' best bet of the day, the over 3.25 goals, has cashed already. Fulham at 3-1. Raul Jimenez has scored again. Luton 1, Fulham 3. So our first official hick on the pre-match has cashed already. Jack is looking good on the over 3 goals. And
I'm very pleased about that. It's been lovely working with you boys, and I'm delighted with how it's gone. Yep. I'll see you next season.
Challenge, you can come back, but we're not getting you to cover any match. You can come back. You can do all the pre-match, but you can't cover any match. But that's a good.
Only kidding, fellas. Only kidding.
So loads of goals going in the first 5 minutes of the second half, and the Fulham game 3-1. We've got Channers, his old man in the shop. He's doing well there. Where we the 3-1 now? What price is the 3-1? That's what I'm interested in. What price is 3-1? So 3-3. Sorry, 3-3 is still 12-1. So we may get the 3-3 in there on the prediction that we need on the Premier League show. So a crazy opening few minutes. That might have bombed a few people out in the total goals early doors. Anyone's gone low has got a very worrying next 40 minutes or so. So we'll keep a recap there. Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 1. Chelsea are minus 625 with Bet Rivers. Bournemouth are 19-1. Bournemouth have got right back in the game. The total now is 4.5, the line there. Burnley v Nottingham Forest is still 2-0 to Nottingham Forest, minus 1,000 to Nottingham Forest. Sheffield United v Tottenham still remains 1-0. Brentford Newcastle is 3-1. That is a prediction from 3 of the guys here on the panel. Hopefully it stays like that. Arsenal is still 1-1 against Everton. Crystal Palace 2-0 against Aston Villa. Liverpool 2-0 Wolves. Luton 1, Fulham 3. Brighton 0, Man United 0. The only 0-0 draw so far, approaching the 50th minute. And Manchester City are still 2-1 up against West Ham in the second half. Man City, how they start the second half, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, West Ham, I think, are definitely more up for it. I mean, obviously that goal before half-time gave them a big boost. But City now are looking to try and get this third goal, just as a shot wide from De Bruyne, I think it was. Haaland, at the minute, it doesn't feel like Haaland's day. It's just his first touch is letting him down a bit. He seems frustrated, the Norwegian international. You know, I'm not sure. No doubt he'll get a big chance at some point, but at the moment, it's just not quite happening for Haaland.
What is he? Minus 143 to score.
You
wouldn't be rushing about that, would you?
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. But equally, it's very hard to oppose him, isn't it? Because he'll be on penalties if they get one.
Well, if they score a third goal and they're leading by 2-0, there is a chance they'll take Haaland off with the FA Cup final going on. But at the moment at 2-1, they need him all on the pitch because it's game on here. Arsenal, Channers, have you got a chance? Are you watching the game? Is anything
They
happening?
had a free kick then. It's gone for a corner. Not very exciting. That was actually the real first chance of the second half, but it didn't. It was blasted over. Nothing very exciting.
Brighton against Liverpool. Brighton against Manchester United, still 0-0. The tie there is plus 185. Now, traditionally, Channers, 56 minutes, 57 minutes in a normal Premier League game. What price would you be looking at the draw?
Well, it gets to kind of even money at about 69 minutes these days in a 0-0 situation. I mean, that's on an average game, average number of goals. So it's a bit early to say it's kind of 50-50, the 0-0. If you have a time of first goal on the spreads in this kind of game would be about 70 minutes. So this next 10 minutes is really key for it. But again, is it going to be one of those games where Brighton are playing rudderless with no manager? Man United had such a disappointing season.
The FA Cup final as well.
Do they both give up a little bit?
Well, the FA Cup finals, their season. They've got Manchester. They've got Manchester City. They don't want anybody. They don't get any injuries. The reason I was asking you the price,
it could fizzle. It could fizzle.
I think the draw here at plus 190 is a big price. Plus 190 to draw at 60 minutes, like you say, usually around about even money at 69 minutes. Brighton with the manager who's moving away, probably not happy with the board. Man United with the manager who knows he's probably in his last match as well. If you're talking about fizzling, this could be one that's absolutely no snap and crackle, but definitely a fizzle. The totals is 1.5. Under 1.5 now is minus 117, which is the lowest of the lot. A goal at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 3, Aston Villa 0. A great result for the Channel here. Crystal Palace minus 2.5 was my pick at half time. -1 at plus money on the pre-match show, and Jack Wright's bet of the day. Crystal Palace, they're 3-0 up, and that man Eze has scored after 54 minutes. They're going to be very, very hard to keep Eze and Elise, aren't they, Jack?
Yeah, we mentioned it, didn't we? To keep all of those, they're kind of main men at the moment, instead of those two, you'd assume one will go. But yeah, that's certainly signing off in style, aren't they?
Yeah, and Crystal Palace looking good, and I think they could score more than that. I really do. We have a goal at Luton, Channers. Luton 2, Fulham 3. They're 3-3.
The 3-3 detector is starting to bleep.
Alfie Doherty has scored after 55 minutes. We could get the 3-3. It is an official pick on the Premier League show at 25-1, which may get us out of the shit we've been in all season. Come on. Luton against Fulham. It's 3-3. What a goal that is. I'll give you some updates on there. The goals are coming in. How many goals have we got now total? 3, 5, 6, 8, 11, 13, 16, 18, 20, 23. We've got 26 goals, and I think that was our lowest pick, was 26, wasn't it, Steve?
25 with the low. Paul Laguna's out of the race.
He's out of the race.
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's history.
The next 27 was the next one. That was the Twitter.
Well, he's gone as well. He's in trouble. He's in trouble.
It's not looking good for him.
He's not looking good, but it's looking good if you're on 3-3 in Luton v Fulham, which was the prediction from myself. The guys went for 2-2, 2-2, and 3-2. Jack went for, but he went for Luton to win 3-2. So 3-3. We need that one there. Arsenal Channels, they've got to throw everything at them here. Is there any prop market? Are they throwing corners? Is there anything that
the game opened up a little bit, but really with chances, not great chances, but some kind of end-to-end stuff anyway. Arsenal had a couple of free kicks around the box, but no real kind of great goal-scoring chances for either side.
Can I just give a shout out?
I think the tempo has increased a bit from the first half, for sure.
Sorry, Steve, what was that?
I just want to give a shout out to Imran, who keeps saying he has massive faith in Luton draw double chance here. He said it at halftime. He said it when they went 3-1 down. He's going in again.
Yeah.
Come on, Imran. We want the 3-3, Imran. We're with you. I think Imran is Lord Oakwell in disguise, because he said that Luton are going to stay up, and he says that Everton's going to go down. Lord Oakwell, Imran is Lord Oakwell in disguise. Let's have a look at the big move that we said it. We called it a little bit more just 5 minutes ago. Liverpool v not Liverpool. The match between Brighton and Manchester United is now minus 160. It's gone from plus 190 to plus 160 on the tie in the last 5 minutes, and the under 1.5 has gone from evens to minus 135 very quickly. I think that is going to be, again, that really is. I think plus 163 to tie here with the state of the managers, the state of Man United in an FA Cup final against Man City. They don't want anyone injured. They've got to raise their levels. And I think plus 163. That could be the 6th 0-0, over the last 21 years in the Premier League.
Man United have just made a double substitution as well. I just had to flick through just to see what was going on with our lineup, because it was quite strong pre-match, wasn't it? They've taken Martinez off and brought Johnny Evans on, and they've taken Bruno Fernandes off and brought Rasmus Højlund on. So, make of that what you will.
Give us an update on Luton v Fulham. Channer said it was the best bet of the day, over 3.25 goals at minus 117. That cashed a long time ago. If you want to play now, the line is 6.5 on the totals. Under is minus 132. Over is even money on the money line. Fulham, Channer's his mate in the betting shop. Best bet at even money are now minus 103. Myself and Imran lead Luton. There's 1,000 for Luton to win on the money line, and the tie is plus 350. Man City, are they pressing for a third goal, or is it? West Ham, yeah,
they are pressing for it. Yeah, Foden especially looks really geared up in the second half. He's really dangerous. Just Haaland, he's getting really frustrated. You can tell from his body language. He's getting really quite aggressive. Wouldn't surprise me if he even got a card. Actually, Haaland, I don't know what his price is, but there's a lot of frustration. If he scores, I could even see a shirt going off here.
Yeah, Tottenham have just scored against Sheffield United. It's Tottenham 2-0 up now at Bramall Lane. That will secure European football. They only needed 1 point to finish in 5th. That may have an effect on Chelsea's performance, Jack, because Chelsea can't get the 5th place. There may be hope that they could overturn them, but they're not going to be able to get there now, because it's now 2-0 to Tottenham, and the goal scorer just waiting for the goal scorer to come through. But Tottenham are 2-0 up against Sheffield United. Channers, you've been betting on the Premier League for a long time. How bad are Sheffield United?
They are bad, aren't they? They're probably in the close to the worst ever, really, aren't they? Really, I mean, what was that team all those years ago? There was one team
Derby.
I remember with Derby. That was it. Derby. Where the total points opened up like 28 or something like that. I think this Sheffield United team could just be the worst, really.
Jack,
I don't mind. Like, Luton have been kind of bad all year, but at least they score some goals and they have some fun and it's exciting. And they're much more easy to warm to. Sheffield United have just been rubbish, haven't they?
And Pedro Porro is the guy who got Tottenham's second goal. Jack, is it? I don't know. You'll know more of the stats than me. Is that the record number of goals ever conceded in the Premier League?
Yeah,
yeah. What is it? 100 and what now?
100. Oh well, it was 100. I think it's 103 now conceded now.
Wow. Amazing.
Like mad. It's not only the record in the 38 game season. It's the record of all time in the Premier League. Even when it started off as like a 40 game season, it's or 42 game season. Sorry, Swindon conceded 100. I think in 1993.
That was another terrible one, wasn't it? Yeah. God, they were bad.
Yeah, Norwich have had a good go at being as bad, like several times, but not quite that much. And they ain't going to be next season either.
How do you think the team's coming up next to Ipswich? How are they going to do if they lose their manager?
That's the thing. Yeah. They've kind of
come up that without a Norwich City.
Of course. Yeah, I think they'll really struggle. Kieran McKenna is obviously a strong part of that for them. If they keep him, then that you'd expect.
Goal for Manchester City. It is Rodri, a man who often comes up with a goal in a big game, doesn't he?
Just as this Arsenal game was starting to get more exciting, City kill it.
Yeah, well, that's disaster for us, Channers. We got under 4 with the West Ham goals was what's going to do us. Nobody expected the West Ham team to score, and that's what's going to actually do us there. But one thing I would say, Channers, there's only one person on the panel who predicted Man City to win 3-1. That's you.
3-1, yeah, but it's a bit early, isn't it?
It's a bit early. Yeah, well, the thing is, they may now showboat.
Hang on, Arsenal had a bit of a chance there, just round the post.
Sorry, gone, Chalice.
This game has played at a much faster pace in the second half, which makes you think that there could be late goals in it. There's players looking a bit tired out running back some of the time here, and it's it's a hot day. It's really opened up, but yeah, that was a chance for us. So that was best chance of the second half.
Yep, 3-1 to Man City. It's over as far as a betting event for Man City bettors. West Ham to come and win this match. I think when you see a price with so many noughts in American odds, you have to double look at it. I think it's 10,000 to 1 West Ham to win this match. I think so. 160 to 1 for West Ham. It's a big price anyway. And the total goals is 5.5 now on that line. Under 5.5 is -108, over at -121. Steve, you're watching it. I know we are expecting some changes from them. We know that Haaland's having a bad day. If they took Haaland and Foden off, is there any hope for me and Channers that we could get a push on the 4 goal on the Asian?
If you can survive to sort of 75 minutes here,
what, me physically or like I know it's hot in here and I'm on the water, but hopefully I'm a betting man. I hope I'm a betting man. I hope I would survive.
If it stays 3-1 till 75 minutes, you've got to think that Man City just pass, keep the ball, probably take a couple off. Now's the moment. This is the danger time now, isn't it? Where that third goal had been coming. But I know what Pep Guardiola's sides are like. He is a man. He loves control. He absolutely loves control whenever he can get it. So, hopefully it ends 3-1. Then you'll get the push. We'll get Neil's correct score. Happy days, right?
Job done. Another goal at Selhurst Park, and it's Crystal Palace 4.
Oh my God.
Villa 0. Crystal Palace. And that is, again, a great goal for us in terms of the halftime pick, the pre-match pick. We were very, very strong on the show on Crystal Palace, and it looks like it's job done. Glasner, what a great job he's done, Jack. I mean, he's turned the season around. He's been a bit lucky with the teams, hasn't he? It's the first time he's had a league say, and there's a Mateta again scored a hat-trick in that match.
Yeah.
What about that? What do you make of Glasner? And obviously, he's been linked with a lot of jobs. Obviously, Bayern Munich have tried to put this massive clause.
Arsenal score.
Sorry,
Arsenal goal. Sorry.
It's the final day of the season, Janice. Get something after a score.
I'm not sure if that's going to count. I'm not sure if it's going to count.
Okay,
what an idiot! It's gone wide. Actually, it was in.
That ain't going to count. I'll tell you that.
I don't think that will count.
Definitely not going to count.
Dennis,
it was a great strike. He was 1-on-1 with the keeper, and he just blasted it slightly wide. But on the angle, it's quite sunny there. It looked like it was in.
Janice, when did you stop refereeing?
Hang on a minute. I just need to let me just.
Oh, there we go. That'll help.
That was great. Why did we have this at the start? Go back to Glasgow. I mean, he's done a tremendous job. We've spoken about Crystal Palace next season. Top half. It's going to be very hard from the push in the top 6, but it's got to keep those key players, isn't it?
Yeah. Chance here for Chelsea. Palmer, rubbish.
Another goal at Sheffield United. Sheffield United 0, Tottenham 3.
I did say over 3 at half time there.
Yeah, well, all the half-time picks are doing great because we've got over 3 goals in the West.
Second half goals.
I'll tell you now, that could become, in the words of Simon Holden, one of his Sergeant Slaughters, 3-0. That could be doubled by the end of Sheffield United are that bad. I think they're the worst.
What did you say? 6-2.
I said 5-1. I don't think Sheffield United.
No, one of the other games you had a 6-2.
6-2. That's that. The red card blew. I blame the red card there, Neil. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that could be the 6-2. Maybe the Spurs.
Channers, if he thought that all the goals were going in like you, he thinks it is 6-2. All them wide balls, he thinks it is 6-2. Let's have a look. How many goals have we got, Steve? And what we got? 3, 5, 8, 9, 12.
Are we about 30 14. Now?
Aston Villa, Crystal Palace 5-0 up against Aston Villa. Do you know what, Jack? I when we did the show,
I know.
I said 30. We're on 30 now.
We could bet 2.5. We could get -3.
Any chance of Elise finally getting on the score sheet here?
Well, we'll see what's happening there. So, is that including the 5th goal, Channers? 30?
Yeah, I think so. I think that makes it 30. I might have got that wrong, but I think I finally got something right.
Really? Let's have a look. I need to double check it. 3, 5, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 19, 21, 26, 30 goals. How many have we got? Has anyone where we look, how many goals do you think is going to win this? 38, 39? It's only just
No, a bit more, I think. Yeah.
What do you reckon?
I
Steve Wyss
think
could win this with 41 or 42 as Stephen Jack.
Oh,
I think most games are still 5 minutes away from being 50-50, whether there'll be another goal or not, aren't they? So probably 8 minutes away from that. So you should get at least a goal a game at this rate, I would have thought.
Okay, let's have a look at some.
Again, innit?
Yeah, Mateta again, 4 goals, incredible.
Oh, man.
I think I put in my fantasy team this week. I think I did. It's going to take me from 137th place out of 140 to 136. Brilliant. Steve, looking at these goals. Oh, we've got a goal at Luton. Luton v Fulham. We've got a goal.
Oh my
It's
word.
all over. It's Luton 2, Fulham 4. Luton 2,
the
Fulham 4.
3-3. The
dream
was on.
The dream for another year has gone. Every year I do it.
Did you have any other 3-3s, Nigel? Was that your only one?
Brighton, Man United. We forget about that. We'll move on. That game is interesting. I was betting the tie is now plus 116. We've got 20 minutes to go. I think that's a big prize. I think the 0-0 detector, which is in the it's in the Natural History Museum at the moment, but it would be here now bleeping away.
I think this is pretty much spot on the time where it really ought to be kind of evens a goal, evens no goal, and the prices are just a little bit more than that, aren't they? Just over even money. I think you're right. I think
just to let you know, Crystal Palace goal has been disallowed again for VAR. How many VAR decisions are they? Crystal Palace is still 4-0. The 5th goal has been chalked.
No chance of the Fulham goal being disallowed.
4 goal backers are screwed then.
No. Harry Wilson scored the goal for Fulham to make it 4-2, and that's been the problem why Luton. You said, Channers, they've been great to watch this season. They've scored 2 goals at home, and they were going through averaging 2 goals a game, but we're losing every game 3-2, 4-2. And that's why they're in the Championship next season.
What a great overs side they've been for the Premier, though. I mean, it's been just every week. Just bet the overs in the Luton game.
Jack, the team's going down. I mean, you follow the Championship more than most people more than anyone on the panel here. Do you think that Luton and Burnley and the teams going down, Sheffield United, will be cards will coming straight back up, or do you think that there's going to be other teams that are going to get better?
You've got to like the chances of Burnley, how they performed the season they got promoted last season when they romped it. Obviously, Company looks like he's going to stay there. Their recruitment will be key, I think, in the summer, because they had a lot of loan players in that Championship winning side. So, I think one thing is that what these sides have got, and Luton did it, especially even in their recruitment this season, is they aren't going to be losing loads of players because they've kind of recruited or kept much of the Championship
He's
side.
on the field. Pelly Ruddock. He's on the field for Luton.
He's
been off the 0-0 detector. Get it back to the museum, mate.
Oh, is it a goal? Man United have scored. There's been a load of goals actually in that 2 minutes there.
Brentford have scored as well, I think.
Brentford have scored to make it 3-2. Crystal Palace have now gone 5-0 up. Eze has scored. Man United have gone 1-0 up at Brighton. Dalot has scored. And I can imagine a lot of people have been blown out of the competition, Steve. Goals. And Burnley have just scored against Nottingham Forest as well. Burnley 1, Nottingham Forest 2.
The goals are everywhere now.
This is going to break the record. The record goals for the final day of the season is 39 on the last 20 years of the Premier League. I think we're going to smash that today.
How many you got, Steve? You say 41?
42 for Jack, 41 for Steve.
Ooh,
Everton have on a sustained period of pressure here, and they had a couple of good chances, really. But I think it's going to come to naught. But they forced a couple of saves, Everton.
Yeah, I mean, the goals. How many have we got now? We've got 3, 6, 9, 11, 14, 15, 16, 21, 23, 6, 29, 30. We've got 34 goals in the Premier League now with 18 minutes remaining. We're gonna smash the 39, I think. How many have got over 34 in the competition? What have we got? Anyone? Sort of
I'm just going to count how many. What are we at? 33 now. Are we at?
34. We have.
Okay, so we've got 1, 2.
I'll let you count this. Give you some in-running.
What's that in Kenilworth Road?
There's only 7 at 34 or more.
Only 7 with 34. And it's currently still 4-2. The market is suspended, but there's been a lot of suspensions at the moment. I think a lot of them have been so many VAR decisions and various different things like that. The market suspended in Man City as well. I don't know if there's a dangerous play there, Steve. Has anything happened in there?
I think there was a VAR check which has now been resolved.
Okay. The market really on these matches now, the one that's really, really interesting as far as the money line is concerned is the match you're watching, Channels. Or well, I say that in inverted commas. Arsenal are minus 130. The tie is plus 138. Everton is $3, and it's over and under 2.5 with under plus 170 over 2.5. You said Everton have got a lot of pressure on here, and could they?
I would say the last 10 minutes, Arsenal barely had the ball, in Everton's half. Really, they have now, actually, right now as I speak. But no, Everton have had 2 or 3 half chances. Arsenal got a half chance here, though.
Well, you're watching a game there. Really, I mean, is the match you're watching reflection of the prices minus 130 and 13-1?
No, it's much closer than that. It's definitely a much closer game. Arsenal, I mean, obviously Arsenal, if I say it, Arsenal will immediately score, but you wouldn't think that with 25 minutes to go, Arsenal ought to be odds on here to win.
Well, this is my point. I mean, you've mentioned the show. It's 68, 69 minutes, even money for the draw. The draw here is currently plus 130. Would that be what your way of thinking, or would there be another way you'd want to get in this?
I don't necessarily think there won't be any goals in this, but I think Everton have got a chance. I think I'd rather just lay Arsenal really at this stage.
Okay.
Bet against Arsenal.
Okay, let's have a look at some other markets are in and around Burnley and making a bit of a comeback at home to Nottingham Forest. 17-1 Burnley, minus 385 for Forest. Can they hold on? Plus 370 is the tie. The score is 2-1. The over and under is 3.5 goals there. Chelsea still haven't sort of put this game to bed yet, Jack. It's only 2-1, minus 590. Chelsea, Bournemouth 30-1. The tie 510. Is that a reflection of the match you're watching?
Yeah, Bournemouth have come into the game a lot more. Solanke's on for them now as well, so they've got more of a threat up front. They've forced a few set pieces, and they're kind of in and around the Chelsea area. It's kind of flipped now. Chelsea look more dangerous on the break. They've got Nkunku on, so he's obviously another player that might be worth looking at as far as a late goal from him. And obviously you've still got a runner with Silva. He's still on the pitch.
If you look at our pre-match picks, we've done rather well this afternoon. Chan has gone for West Ham +3, which is currently precarious, but we're still hanging on for chance there. Yeah, I've gone for under 4 goals in that game on the Asian with a push. So hopefully we don't get a goal there, and that'll be a push. Hopefully it stays like it is there with the cash for us both. Steve has gone for Chelsea -1.25, which is not doing too bad. Currently 2-1.
Nothing a Thiago Silva goal can't solve.
That would be lovely. Thiago Silva. And we've got Palace on the money line from Jack. They're winning 5-0. I think we can count that one in the bag. And Chan is over 3.25 in Luton against Fulham. So our in-play picks, our pre-match picks have done pretty well. And our in-play picks have done exceptionally well. At half-time, Jack went for over 3 goals in the match between Chelsea and Bournemouth. It's currently 2-1 with a push on the Asian market. Steve went for over, was it 2.5 goals on Sheffield United?
Over 3 Sheffield
Over
United.
3 goals. We got 3 goals there, so we're not going to lose there. And my pick of under,
you went Palace though, didn't you?
Palace -2.5, and they're 5-0 up. Yeah. I can't remember what Chan has had because
I went in the Burnley Forest game. It was 2-0 at the time, and I went for over 3.5 Burnley Forest. So it's got a chance.
It's all pretty good. I think we should be profitable. There's another VAR decision at Brentford against Newcastle. I don't know if it's a penalty decision or what, but there is something happening at Brentford, which will be incredible if Brentford can come back and claw something from it.
It'll be a 3-all detector who will be flashing.
Well, yes, but it's flashing in the wrong area. I mean, the Brentford game, what have we gone for that? We've all went for 3-1 and 2-2.
Man City have a very dangerous free kick here.
Talk us through it, Steve.
Kevin De Bruyne is over it. The wall is being set for West Ham. City won't mind that taking a long time. De Bruyne's going to go straight for goal here. Foden's going to take it, and Foden just goes wide from Phil Foden. So still 3-1 at the end.
If it wasn't bad enough for Sheffield United, the season has been horrendous. They're 3-0 down at home. They've just had a player sent off. Austin Trusty has been sent off at the 76 minutes of the last 14 minutes of that match. On the final day of the season, we conceded 110 goals. You're 3-0 down at home, and you got down to 10 men. Oh, what you don't want that, do you? Okay, let's have a look at some other action, other matches. Arsenal -112. They haven't got the goal. There has been a goal at Brentford. Brentford are now 4-2 down against Newcastle. I'll give you the goal scorer on that. But Channing, Arsenal are almost even money now.
Yeah, they had, and since we talked about that, they probably had like 3 shots on target. Well, not all on target. One of them was slightly off target, but 3 kind of dangerous looking shots that it wouldn't have surprised you that much if they scored. They've got a corner right now, so possibly in the last 5 minutes they've had 90% of the play, but in the 10 minutes before that, it was pretty much all Everton really, and actually Everton are handling the defensive situations pretty easily, and yeah, I could possibly see it fizzling out now. Really, I mean, although it has been definitely the second half's been played at a much higher tempo than the first half.
Yeah, plus 116 is the draw with 14 minutes to go plus injury time. And obviously, when you say 14 minutes to go, we've got to factor in those extra minutes, which make it very, very difficult for us to bet. The match you're watching, do you think there'd be much on it? You know, if the final whistle...
I mean, definitely in the first half, there was a lot, and they gave 7 minutes. I can't really see almost anything really that's come up in the second half, but they always seem to find 5 or 6 minutes these days, don't they?
But if the final whistle goes at Man City and they've won 3-1, the referee might just say, come on, you know, it's over and done with and get it on done with. But anyway, we'll see what happens there in the last 10 minutes or so. Newcastle, unbettable favourites now, 4-2. The total goal line is 6.5 there. Over is minus 120 and under is minus 109. Aston Villa, 5.5 is the goal line. Liverpool still 2-0. Not many corners, Jack. Only been 11 corners in the match. So I think that's 4 in the second half there. So only 11 corners, 9-2 for them. The crowd are cheering Jurgen Klopp's name. It's turned into a bit of a party atmosphere there. You know, it's they may get one more goal, but I can't really see them pushing to get 3 or 4 like you would expect in normal Liverpool matches. Yeah,
I was just looking at the stats there. 30 shots in Liverpool, 12 on target. Ooh, close from Solanke in the Chelsea game. And their XG is 4.61. And obviously only scored 2 goals. So it's...
Well, that sums Liverpool up this year, doesn't it? Had Nunes missed some chances? Probably has, hasn't it? Yeah, that just sums them up.
The other thing I was going to say to you, I said it was things were bad for Sheffield United down to 10 men. Well, things have got even worse. They're down to 9 men now. Andre Brooks, 115 goals conceded or whatever it is now. They're 3-0 down at home. It's just like the players just want to do, do you know what? I've had enough of this season. Let's just get off. 9 men down for them. That's going to be interesting for the betting.
Let me ask you a question. What's the earliest any of you 3 guys have left a football game? 3-0 down at half time with 9 men. Would you be off at half time? Would you go at 30 minutes if that happened?
Jack and I have been to a football match where we didn't come out of hospitality after 20 minutes.
That doesn't surprise me.
But I've left I went to the half time at an England match and I went into the hospitality. And I had to ring my son up to ask him to score in case I got questions on the way home from the missus. So I had to ring Harry up and say, Harry, what was the score, mate? Because I didn't see it. I couldn't remember. So he told me who scored in case I got any questions.
I never understand people that leave when there's only 1 goal in it, though. That just seems crazy to me. Well, even if it's like the 90th minute.
I think the trouble is when you're at Wembley, Wembley's so hard to get out of. It's just a nightmare to get out to the train station. So I always leave about 5 minutes from the end so I can ensure that I'm on the train because you're packed or you're walking down Wembley Way. It's absolutely horrendous. But if on a day like this in the final day of the season, I'd stay there to the end cheering and
it's would you be there if you were a Sheffield United fan?
Oh, I wouldn't turn up. I wouldn't be there. I wouldn't be there for this match. And I don't know what else. What about you, Jack? What the earliest you've left the ground?
Do you know what? I tend to stay, yeah. I remember watching Norwich in I can't even remember what division it was, but it was against Wimbledon, like the actual original Wimbledon. And we were 4-0 down after about half an hour. And I put up with that and watched that to the second half as well. But I've actually been to QPR a couple of times.
Had you seen promising signs that you might be getting back into it?
No, I hadn't. But I've paid my money. I'm going to stay here now. But
I used to go to that match, QPR against. Obviously, I'm a QPR fan. Used to go to QPR against Norwich on the away trip, and we used to stay in Caister-on-Sea. Me and my friend, and we met these 2 young ladies, and we told them that we were Michael Meeker, who played as a winger for QPR, and we escaped the team hotel to come down to this terrible nightclub in Caister-on-Sea. And she said that she was at the match. She was going to the match, and we said we'll leave her players' tickets on the gate when she got there. Michael Meeker of Leave with Crown Tickets.
Oh, wow.
And there was in the days before mobile phones and stuff like that. So we wasn't Michael Meeker. I don't know what's happened with your green screen, Jack.
I know. I haven't got one today, so it's coming up out of nowhere.
Well, you've got a ghost. You've got a ghost in your house. Put in Bet Rivers. You've got the ghost in their property. I think we've got a ghost at Steve's. The ghost.
Oh, look at that.
James Bond. James Bond movie.
Just can't help himself.
Oh, is it Blofeld? That's the old James Bond movie.
Henry Blofeld.
Yeah.
What was his name? Is it Blofeld?
His name is Kit Kat. His name is Kit Kat. He is.
Oh, right. Okay. Let's get back to what we're here for. It's the betting at Arsenal v Everton.
It's amazing. We haven't had a goal for like 5 minutes there.
Well, who's hanging on? Who's hanging on this competition? Who's going to get the mark? Challenge you.
How many goals have we got now in total?
Lots.
35.
I'm on 37. So
3, 6, 9, 11, 15, 17, 22, 24, 28, 30, 31, 35.
Oof.
So what have we got? I think what wins it? 40 wins it?
I reckon.
I think 41 maybe.
41 is Steve Wiss's
Steve's on that.
Steve, how would you feel like winning one of these?
Is it a T-shirt?
Yeah, this is for Steve's. This is Steve's winning prize for. Well, Steve. I'm not going to say nothing, but I was going to change the chicken for a cat, but don't be a something else. I won't do that. So we've got. So anybody. So what? Who we got on the show? What's the numbers we have? Anyone?
Have we got anyone holding a winning ticket at the minute?
Well, we've got, I say, someone put 41 in the comments as well. We've got someone on 42. We've got someone on 38 and 39, which is interesting. Okay. That's an interesting number. Oh, there's actually 2 with 41.
So it has to go to the first person on 41. So the first
so I will have to look back on the comments and see who that was. But so we've got 42 and a 38 and a 39. Everything else is knocked out.
So we are going into the last 5 minutes now of the 2023-2024 season. It looks like Manchester City are going to make history and win 4 consecutive Premier League titles.
Goal for Man U, I think.
Man United, they've gone 2-0 up. Yes, Brighton 0, Manchester United 2. It's all gone wrong, really, at Brighton, hasn't it, over the last few weeks? De Zerbi's gone, he's leaving there, and a bit of a rebuild. I mean, how do you see Brighton next season?
Did you see a couple of weeks ago they had to give their goal of the month to an own goal back pass because it was literally the only goal they scored in the month of April?
They're falling off a cliff, big star, Brighton.
Oh, yeah. Well, are they a side that I know Tony Bloom is a guy who's a very wealthy man, but he's not. He's got a great recruitment system. And are they a side that maybe potentially next season we look at towards the bottom end, relegation in the relegation mix, and the way they're playing, you've got to find a new manager, you've got to find a lot of players, rebuild, isn't it?
Yeah, so you can't write it off because again, it now comes to a massive situation where they have to get the right manager. We've seen it before where sides get the wrong appointment and start the season terribly. Again, I think we saw it this season where we were waiting for Bournemouth to actually pull the trigger on Iraola, but because of how bad the bottom 3 were, it kind of gave everyone else a little bit of more comfort. So again, it'll be interesting to see this season. We're going to see stronger sides coming up. I don't think we're going to see the situation that we've got this year with the bottom 3 effectively been nailed on from day one. The likes of Leeds, Leicester, if Leeds get up, of course. But be interesting to see how Ipswich get on, of course. But that's. That'll be, I think they could struggle, but it'll be depending on the manager. Big shout.
Rasmus Højlund scored the second goal for Brighton in the 88th minute. Channers, Arsenal v Everton. Manchester United. Sorry, Arsenal v Everton. We're in the 84th minute here, and under 2.5 goals is -120. I've never seen anything like that. 1-1. I mean, are we expecting an Arsenal goal to end the season on a high here? 84 minutes.
There's still been sort of half chances at both ends. In fact, Everton forced to save. Keeper got one hand to him, pushed it around the post. Probably, it wasn't the best shot ever, but and then since then Arsenal have had a chance. So there's still chances at both ends, but the time is really decaying for the price. it's like the market's already anticipating 8 minutes of added time, and I can't really see where the time's coming from.
Yep. Channers is across that game. So he's watching every move at Arsenal. So he knows full well there will not be 7 minutes. He knows. He'll be very surprised.
The first half.
Clock goes up 11 minutes of it. 36 goals we have. Channers, you're going for 37.
Yeah, I know.
Not far off. You might get one goal.
So the people in contention here are Neil Francis with 38. Rich with 41. Ray Burke also predicted 41, and we've got Amir Makeen with 39 and Manisha with 42.
Oh, I think 39. I think 38 wins it.
By the way, a less keen observer would have shouted out goal for Arsenal in this game, but luckily I cleverly spotted that it was a side netting job. So,
well,
thank God.
It's Arsenal plus 170 now. It's been a goal at Liverpool, and it's gone to Wolves.
Wow.
Wolves are 2-1 up against Liverpool. Consolation.
The 6-2 is not dead yet.
My 2-2 prediction. Come on, the 2-2. I said 9-1. The draw was a big price there.
Wolves, the 10 men.
2-1 down to 10 men now. 2-1 down now against Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp's final game. You see the emotional scenes at the end there. They're singing his name, Liverpool. You'll never walk alone, but they're currently 2-1 up against Wolves here. I think there maybe it's another goal at Luton. We're waiting to see is there. The market suspended there. Man City against West Ham. Steve, am I looking all right for my push? Am I going to be lucky to get away with this? Or
Haaland just clipped the post with a header. At the moment, it's just not been his day.
The 3-1 backers are sweating every moment.
But now, I think Manchester City now are in a position where they're in control. They will still create some chances. There might be like a pot shot, that sort of thing. But now it's just keep the ball, and they're the champions, aren't they? Of the Premier League again.
Yeah, I think they will doing all right. And if we look at their predictions now, there is only one person who has got a score prediction correct currently, and he's got 2, and he's won it. He's going to win it, and that's Channers. He's gone 3-1 Man City. He's gone for 2-1 Nottingham Forest to beat Burnley. He's the only person out of all of us who's got a correct score pick on the matches so far. So, Channers, you've won a Steve Wyss. Don't be a moron. Don't be very like Wyss. Very nice. And so Channers is doing really well. He's 3-1-2, and the rest of us are struggling along here. How many total we got now? 30. He's at 37 goals now. So we got 30, and he's gone for 37 goals. Channers, we got 37 goals.
It's going all right so far.
Hello, welcome along to the New Premier League Show. I'm Neil Channing for the 24-20, and here's my co-host, that old boy from the betting shop.
Kingsley has asked, where is Imran? Has he rebacked Luton? Imran, are you still going to Luton Town? There's a goal for West Ham.
Oh, come on, Steve. You're not supposed to be like, this is...
ruined. Absolutely ruined.
Man City are appealing here. For, I think, a potential handball.
Now, Channers,
boys.
It is a handball. It's a clear handball.
I think, come on, handball ref, come on.
He's even laughing. He knows he's putting it in his hand. It's definitely a handball.
That's not. This isn't going to count. This ain't going to count.
Oh,
that's the clearest handball I've seen since the Maracana in 1986, and the referee done the right thing there, didn't he? No, I'm still not bitter about that.
Thank heavens.
So we've got 38 goals, 37 goals. Channers is going to get a sweep. 3-1, 2-1, and 37.
I've absolutely swept, haven't I? Really, let's face it.
It is disallowed officially.
And he's both for Channers' bets, pre-match bets have copped as well. It's an afternoon.
All time.
Unbelievable. Channers, while we've got a couple of minutes, the markets are going down. You're in form, obviously, with these winners here. What do you bet for the USPGA?
Well, I had 5 players at the start of the tournament, and I see your man Holden. He was going on about he's bet this geezer Thagala. Sorry, he's one of mine actually. I'm on him. I'm on him, and I'm on Xander Schauffele. I'm sitting quite well on that really. Hang on a minute, we got a chance here for Everton.
Channers, I'm not going to say Arsenal have scored. We've got a chance for Everton. Arsenal are 2-1 up. You're saying there's a chance for Everton.
I know. I can't believe it. I think my thing's behind. My stream is
chance for
behind.
Everton. It's
absolute
Arsenal
disaster.
too.
I thought we had Simon Holden here for a minute then. We did about 36 behind.
I was very excited
Simon-
about it. Because you mentioned the golf. You got me thinking about Simon Holden because you were talking about the golf. I stopped watching for a second.
Simon Holden
I can't do
described
this
the goal
10
as-
things at once business. It's too
I think
much.
Simon Holden on the reaction stage said it was one of the greatest goals he scored a header in. It was, oh, what a goal. Fantastic. A great move. Brilliant goal. Brilliant, fantastic goal. And it was a deflection of someone's knee. But I think Arsenal have gone 2-1 up here. And
They have gone 2-1 up. You're correct.
2-1 up. And
That would have been
so-
interesting if West Ham had actually been given that goal.
now we have just before we go, and we've got to mention it when on the Betting Weekly Studios as well as our Instagram page as well. Last night, if you watched the Usyk Fury fight, Christian Dawson, a friend of me and Neil Schmeiler, as we used to know, he did a little video for us. He predicted Usyk to win the fight and Usyk to win on points, which cashed.
Yeah.
We also had a pick from our tennis guru Sean Calvert, who picked Zverev to win the tournament this week in Rome. He's just won the tournament as well. He's cashed at 10-1, so that was a pre-match tournament pick there. And obviously Thigala for Simon Holden is in the contention, and we want him to win on the channel for both, not only for Simon but also for Neil as well. And the content, it might be the final day of the Premier League season and the European leagues are coming to the end, but the Euro 2024 starts in just a few weeks' time now, and the guys will have some content all the way across that tournament as well as the tennis, the French Open tennis.
Do you need me? Are you going to need me to be watching a lot of those games live for you?
No, we've got the
He's blazed it over.
ATB Tour and the WTA. Bournemouth had a chance, Jack. What's happened?
Huge chance. They broke through, and he's had a shot. Keeper's fumbled it. It was a bit of should have been an easy save, and he's gone down and he's just fumbled it. And then there was a great block, and it fell about 6-7 yards out, and he's blazed it over the bar with the keeper laying on the floor. I think it was actually Solanke with the chance. Shot there, fumbled by the keeper. Great tackle from Gallagher, and then Solanke 7 yards out, keeper on the floor, and he's tried to stick it top corner, and it's gone into the Bournemouth fans behind the goal who can't believe it.
Yeah, the final whistles are being blown across the country on the final day in the Premier League. Burnley 1, Nottingham Forest 2 is a full-time score, which was predicted by Neil Channing at the start of the show. Burnley 1, Forest 2. Myself and Neil were the only two who went with Forest. The other two guys went with Burnley, but Channing got it right with the 2-1 prediction. Manchester United have won 2-0 at Brighton. There's big problems for Brighton for this season. They're without a manager and they're in terrible form. Manchester United head to the FA Cup final next week to face Manchester City after a big win there. 2-0 for Manchester United there. Arsenal was still 2-1. Kai Havertz got the goal. There's some controversial going on at the Arsenal game. I don't know what's happened. Shannon, I know you're abreast of it. What's happening there? There's a lot of the talking point here.
Well,
I'll come back to that one.
They put up 5 minutes of injury time. I mean, I don't really know where they got that from, but I mean, they're playing still. I can't see anything really particularly exciting happening.
Right. Look at the goals. How many goals have we got now? Is it 37? Is that correct?
I think
so.
it is.
3, 6, 9, 11, 15, 18, 23, 25, 27, 31, 33, 37. And the person who predicted 37 goals this weekend is Neil Channing. 4-2. Luton have lost in their final game of the Premier League season. They're relegated and lose 4-2 at home to Fulham. Well done to Channers on the over 3.25, and well done to Channers' mate Bob, the old boy in the betting shop, who said Fulham was his best bet of the
I'm going to have to go
day.
in another shop from now on. He's going to just haunt me, isn't he? Every time I go in there, he's going to tell me about that.
I know him, and he's been saying that about you for the last 6 months. But anyway, let's go on. So 37 goals. Has anybody else got 37 goals, Steve? Or is it?
We've got Neil Francis has got 38. So one more goal scored.
2-0. Neil Francis and Neil Channing. Luton. So we've got Luton over 4-2. We've got Crystal Palace have won 5-0. Well done, Jack. Jack picked Crystal Palace as his best bet of the day. Crystal Palace is my pick, minus 1.5, and we've done well on that match. So we've absolutely cleaned up on the Crystal Palace match. Hopefully, some of you might have taken the plus 130 when Villa was Champions League football was secured, and they've done.
I'll tell you what, the goals really dried up since like the 75th minute.
They really did,
general,
didn't they?
I would say.
Yeah,
haven't they?
Yep, 37. We thought 40 might do it, and that means 37 goals doesn't beat the record for the Premier League. 39 is the record, and it's still intact from 21 to 22 on the final day of the season. It's all over at Anfield. Jurgen Klopp's final match in charge at Liverpool. Emotional scenes there. The German, he's now minus $5 to be the next Germany manager. Wolves goals disallowed. So it was 2-0. Wolves won, Liverpool won 2-0.
Under 2.5 would have been a massive price there.
Yep. Yeah, under 2.5.
Massive.
Especially
what
with
price were the tickets going for in that game in the end?
I wouldn't have a clue.
They were talking about huge numbers, weren't they?
Liverpool's always an expensive ticket because they can fill the stadium. It's quite, from modern standards, it's a small stadium. So Liverpool, the 6-2, which we predicted for Steve, and the 5-1 from Jack never materialised, but it was a 2-0 win for Liverpool. And Jurgen Klopp is now addressing the cop for Klopp, and he's off. So how many matches have we got still playing? We still got the 3-1. We need that 3-1 to make sure the Asian is a push on the 4 goals, and Man City against West Ham. We don't want a last-minute goal there. There's how many injury time minutes have we got, Steve?
It's about done. The whistle's going to blow. The fans are ready to come on the pitch here. I think the referee is going to blow the whistle very soon, although the crowd are sort of preventing the final whistle here. Because of and now the players are going over to the fans and telling them to get off the pitch because it's not done yet. It's not done yet.
Get it over. Which one to take the push?
Haaland's so angry today. He's got over to them and says, basically, if you come on the pitch, I'm going to knock you out here. So
you're Norwegian.
Leeds boy, Steve, isn't he? Leeds boy.
Born in Leeds.
Born in Leeds. Good Yorkshire lad, darling. Yorkshire. Knock you out. I'll knock your block up. You come on.
You sound like John Fury then.
Oh, my son is a fighting man. I'm a fighting man. Can't be beat.
It is all over. Manchester City are the Premier League champions. It's 3-1. Final score.
Yeah,
I said you might hang on, didn't I? If he gets to 75 minutes, and he did.
That is another prediction from Neil Channing. 3-1. It saves out 4 goals is a push. No damage done on the Asian market, which was a bit of a scare when Man City took the lead. Phil Foden scoring 2 goals there. The player of the year, a brilliant season. The player of the year, 2 goals, but Calvin Phillips will still be odds-on favourite to play ahead of him in England's first match in the European Championships in a few months. Incredible scenes there. Man City being crowned champions. Does that mean that Arsenal may drop their levels?
The only game left live now.
Arsenal's the only game left. Well, Channers is watching it. It's been finished 15 minutes ago. But anyway, Channers, what's happening?
As it happens, in the last couple of minutes, it's been mostly Everton. But it looks like it's going to fizzle out, really.
We're on the unders there.
It is going to finish out. We're on the unders. It's 2-1 to Arsenal there. That's been it, really. I suppose we're waiting for that final whistle. We know Man City are now crowned Premier League champions. They'll be favourites again next season, I have no doubt. But there could be a potential of points deductions. Lots of things could change off-field next season. Will make the betting very, very interesting. There's also a huge amount of sport. We didn't really get your picks on the golf channels. In the USPGA, you've got Sander Schauffele and Thigala.
Well, those are the guys I'm on. I mean, I haven't pressed my position today, but I did do some match bets. The one match bet that I really like that's left is Justin Thomas. It goes off in about half an hour's time. He's playing with Tony Finau today. Now, Tony Finau had a great first round because he putted like a demon, but you can't keep that up. And Justin Thomas is a local lad, and I think in this 4th round, motivation, when you're not going to win it, the guy that's really motivated to perform on the last day is the person you want to be on. And Justin Thomas, I think he's much more likely to have friends and family coming to watch today and be really up for it. So I thought him around about even money. I don't know what he is with Bet Rivers, but he's playing against Tony Finau, and that was the prices with the tie as a runner. So the 3-way market. No. In a 2-way market, he'd be nearer to minus 125. Really.
He's minus 115. That match starts at 1:35 p.m. Eastern time. Justin Thomas head across to the Bet Rivers website. They'll be doing in play on the second golf major of the season. I think the only match that's it. So the Premier League is over for a season. Manchester City are crowned champions. I hope you've enjoyed the show as much as we've done it. I've really thoroughly enjoyed the last 2 hours, 30 minutes, but it seems to have flown by. It's really been a great afternoon. Thank you so much for everybody who's
That's
watched.
it now in the Arsenal game. That's the end of it.
Channers, it's over. Channers, it started the new season, Channers. It's been great giving you the content throughout the season. I really we appreciate so much for all your comments. We appreciate all you watching. Everyone retweets the show. Everyone who gives a comment on the show. We've really enjoyed it. As I say, the content comes thick and fast. Euro 2024. We've got the Champions League as well, final in a few weeks' time, and all the European Cup finals, which Steve, Dan, and all the boys will be involved in it. Thanks very much for today, Steve. Thanks very much, Neil. Thanks very much, Jack. And thank you all, guys, for all your hard work and efforts. I know there's a lot goes on behind the scenes here, which people don't realise. And it's great to work with such a great team, and really has been an enjoyable season. So thank you very much, everybody. Remember to follow us on our socials at Because We Win on Twitter and Instagram. Loads of new stuff on the Instagram account. Keep telling your friends about the Betting Weekly Studios on YouTube. We need some more subscribers than that. That'd be great to watch that. And download your favourite podcast from your preferred podcast provider. Last thing I've got to say, congratulations, Neil Channing. 3-1, Man City, West Ham. 2-1, Nottingham Forest, and he hit the 37 spot on. Before we go, Steve, who's the winner of the T-shirt?
Well, are we going not nearest 2 then?
Yeah, we're going to go to 38. Whoever's gone done to 38.
It's got to be Neil Francis then with 38.
Congratulations, Neil. If you send me your address, I will send you a couple of T-shirts. You can have 2 because you've done so well. And just give us your address and send it to me on the Because We Win Twitter account or on my personal account. I'll make sure that's posted off to you first thing tomorrow morning. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a great season. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed the content. And we'll be back again for Euro 2024.
Hold on. Before you go.
Hold on.
I'm just looking
I thought Channers has seen a goal in the Arsenal game.
Shane predicted 36.
Oh, well, Shane can have a T-shirt. Well, Shane's a regular.
So we've got Shane as well.
Yeah, so they can both have.
Both one out.
They can both have a couple of T-shirts. So send us your message there. That would have been a bit of a steward, Steve. One job wish. It almost mucked it up. Anyway, enjoy the break. Enjoy the golf tonight, Channers. We're all on Team Tigala. We want him to win for the Because We Win team. Thanks very much for all the work and everything the last season. And we're back again with Euro 2024. Enjoy your break. We've got a few weeks off then before we start working again, providing you the best bets and the best content here on Betting Weekly Studios. Take care and all the best for the weekend.
Cheers all.